Hello, I'm here. Are you ready for the costume reveal? I hope you can see it properly. Are you guys ready? Hello, Bernie. Are you ready? Are you excited? Are you ready? I'm hoping I can do this in this costume. You are Bernie. Okay. Let's go to the scene. Hello. I have the Miguel co- Oh, you can barely see it. This belly button's printed on, don't ban me. I'm Miguel, but you can't see it. Can I fix it? Does that do anything? I don't know. I'm Miguel. I'm Spider-Man 2099. I didn't realize YouTube wasn't set up. Okay, hold on. Let me... Hello, Miguel O'Hara. Hello. I can't find the center pull on this yarn. For the last, like, bit, I've just been trying to, rip out the innards of this so I can crochet, and I can't find it. So I don't know where it could be. So I guess we're just gonna forego the center pull because I can't find it. And I can barely feel anything with these on, with the gloves on, so. I can't take the gloves off because they're attached. Anyway, I also have to get the book. This is gonna cause problems because I shoved it all. I removed all of it. Whatever. Okay. I gotta grab the book. I didn't grab the book. Luckily, I can use my phone, which is nice. Where's the goblins at? Today we're making a goblin, as per Bernie's request. Okay. R in. There it is. Bernie wanted the goblin, so we're gonna make the goblin. I'm able to use my hands better than I thought I'd be able to. This is what the goblin looks like. This is the yarn we picked out. Bernie wanted it because, and I quote, it's weed green. So instead of goblin green, we got weed green today. And yeah, I doubt we'll finish it today. But that's okay. Once again having the issue where there's no good way to set up the book because this is at the very end of the book. This is great. Water bottle. I should have set this up beforehand. I did this last time, too. Okay. I should have set this up beforehand, but I didn't think to do that. Okay. We're gonna set this down. I really don't want to pull from the outside of the yarn. I still want to see if I can find the center pull through one of these strings, one of these strands. One of them has to be it. Right? One of them has to be the center pull. It can't just, it's just squishing. Okay. Yarn bee, not helpful. This is the worst part about fiber arts, just by the way. Is trying to get the yarn to cooperate with you. Instead of just doing this. It has to have a center pull. It can't not have a center pull, right? It has to exist. Anyway, how's your night going? Oh, now my gloves don't want to work. Oh no, this was working earlier. Why doesn't it want to work now? I was gonna say, I think the other issue though is if my hands get too cold in here, then I can't touch my phone anymore. So I had to say, Kelly, I'll drink to that. Hi, Toad. It's just turning into this weird ball. Oh god. I mean, I guess it's Saturday. I wish I had one of those machines that rolls yarn into balls for you, but I don't have one of those, unfortunately. This is going to be hell. Oh, thank you, Bernie. What I should do? I can't let you do it. That's the problem. You're too far away for me to let you do it. I'm not mailing it to you. Because I need it. Hello. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Maybe I can use my Switch to hold it. No, that's too heavy. I don't know what to do here. This is the only thing that sucks about working out of a book when wanting to stream. Miguel cosplay! Hello. This is my costume. I'm Miguel. Why is my mask on? Trying to currently find a way to, hold my book back. Does that work? I guess that works. I can see it, and that's all that really matters. I can see the book. You don't need to see the book. You just need to see what I'm doing. And now if I could find the yarn. Oh, son of a bitch. This is going to suck. Because the yarn doesn't want to work with me. Let's see how my yarn skills are. Oh, that's the wrong way. I'm already off to a terrible start. Okay. Oh! Let's put on the most extreme. Do you still want to watch the most extreme? Hold on, give me 1 second. Or should we put something else on? I don't know what else we would watch. Watch the most extreme. So the next one is Swarms. You're pumped for Daiso? Yeah, I'm surprised we're getting one. This is gross.
We're counting down the top 10 most extreme swarms in the animal kingdom and comparing them to a human cast of thousands.
Okay. Let's see if we can do if I can do this. I was gonna say we, but you don't have anything to do with this.
Earth is a planet of extreme.
Ooh, Shelly should quit and work there.
Extreme places and extreme animals. But some animals are more extreme than others. Join us as we
I can't drink my water now though because my water is holding my book. God damn it! I can only drink my coffee.
On the most
extreme. I love this show. I know, Bernie. That's the only reason you come to my streams.
Our first contender in the countdown of extreme swarms can be found a little close to home. Just one mouse in the house can cause all kinds of trouble.
Okay. So, new problem. The yarn sticks to the costume, so that's fun. That's okay. Three. Four. I don't threaten to fire you. I've never threatened to fire you.
In the wild, mice can also cause trouble.
I believe it too.
That's because it doesn't take long for one mouse to become a swarm. The mouse is number 10 in the countdown because it breeds
Fine.
fast. One female can have
When
up
did
to
I fire
16
you?
babies in a single litter, and she can become pregnant again the very next day.
That sounds terrible.
All it takes to make millions of mice is a little nice weather and abundant food. So it's no wonder that mice just love the wheat belt of Australia.
Like 3 months ago? I don't
In
remember this.
1994, a single swarm of mice in South Australia caused over $65 million worth of destruction. No wonder Australians hate these mices to pieces.
Mices to
Perhaps they could take a
pieces.
lesson from a small town in Germany that once found an unusual way to get rid of rampaging rodents.
Also, I don't know if you can tell, but the hands are a little big for me. BC's PCs! How convenient. I don't, why would I fire you? Why did I fire you? What did you do?
According
Reese's
to legend,
Pieces.
a Pied Piper once used music to rid a town of rodents. Unfortunately, after
Trying to, like,
it paid,
pull
its
this down.
beauty took all the children as well.
I'm
In
gonna
a
be
story
honest,
that could be more
it
than just a
almost
fairy tale.
didn't fit anymore.
Historical records from the German town of
Were you
Hamelin
being a bitch? Well,
suggest
then that makes
on
sense.
June 26, 1284, a young piper really did appear in town.
That makes sense.
Some speculate that the piper was hired to find settlers for new colonies in Eastern Europe. Or perhaps he was recruiting for a crusade or a battle. Whatever the
What does this have
reason,
to do with mice?
over 130 of Hamelin's young people left town that day.
My
never to be
mask,
seen
I
again.
think, I don't know if it fits or not because of my hair. I've never, like, braided my hair down to see if it fits. If I braided my hair down, though, I think it would fit. If I braided my hair down, I'd be worried that it'd actually be too big. But it fit pretty well when I tried it on last year. This is going to be problematic. I did it, okay. Thank you, Nightbot. Holy shit.
All kinds of games are played on the beaches of California, including the game of love.
The game of
some come
love?
to soak up the sun and seek out a mate. These beaches are also home to number 9 in the countdown.
I don't have my glasses on. What's wrong with me? I didn't even realize.
These beaches attract a different
You're bad at
crowd.
that game? I'm also bad at that game.
These people are here to see an orgy, but it's all
I'm
in the name of
sorry?
science.
You're gonna get me banned. The most extreme.
They're led by Professor of Biology at Pepperdine University.
You heard
Karen
exactly
Martin.
what you heard.
Oh, look over there. Did you see that one? It came up with a wave and just went skittering back down. So that's the first one. That was one of the scouts.
So should we go up and look, or?
Well, let's just let them get started because we don't want to scare them away.
These people are here to see a small fish called a grunion.
Grunion!
If anybody was coming to Southern California, I would hope that they would come at a time when there's a grunion run. It's something you can see nowhere else in the world. It's like no other fish in the world. It's an incredible sight to see an animal that's fully aquatic be fully out of the water, doing something that's vital to the survival of the species.
The grunion is number 9 in the countdown because hundreds of thousands of these incredible fish come ashore to mate.
Why?
First, the females come ashore, digging in to lay their eggs. Then it's the male's turn as they fertilize the eggs in the sand. Here, the eggs can develop far from the mouths of hungry predators, until they hatch 2 weeks later when the next high tide washes over them.
never have any shortage of people coming out to watch Grunion with me. People love to come and watch the Grunion under the full moon. People hold hands and walk up and down the beach. It's very romantic.
Huh.
But not even the most hormonally charged undergrad can compete with the Grunion. One female
Wow.
can lay more than 3,000 eggs on her trip to the beach, and she can spawn up to 6 times each season. No wonder crowds flock to see a fish that really digs beaches.
Yeah, you can just see the shine in the silver.
It seems that for graduates and Grunions, making out on the beach is a spring rite that will never be wrong.
Yeah, they just go back.
The next contender in our countdown of super swarms seeks safety in numbers. Running in at number 8 is the caribou.
Why
In
is
the
it so tight
frozen
right here?
wastes
I'm
of
gonna
the
lose my
Arctic,
mind.
These large deer stick together in large numbers for a very good reason.
My work here is done. Flashback. Yeah.
Wolves know all too well that caribou in a herd are hard to hunt. There are always hundreds of eyes on the lookout. So it's no wonder that caribou swarm all over the countryside. In Alaska,
Back support.
there are twice as many caribou as people. And it's
That's
estimated
crazy.
that the largest herds contain over 500,000 deer. And this is a mob on the move. There are so many hungry mouths in the herd that some caribou can travel 5,000 kilometers each year in search of new grazing grounds. But some caribou need a helping hand. In Scandinavia, domesticated caribou are called reindeer and have been linked to the fortunes of the Sami people
See,
for
I
generations.
told you that they were called reindeer,
Jonna
Bernie.
Utsi
You didn't
makes his
believe me.
living as a reindeer herder.
I'm looking for something I can put my arm on because my desk is glass and it hurts my arm. More
Each
yarn.
spring, Jonna and his team escort their herd of reindeer 200 kilometers
No, that's too
from
big.
the arid interior to the coast to fatten on
I guess I
lush
suffer.
summer
I should
grazing.
make a pad. I should like make a soft little pad that I can just put here. But I haven't
Unfortunately, a
done
recent
that
snowstorm
yet.
has covered the grass, and a lunch of lichen isn't enough fuel for the long trek through deep snowdrifts. So some reindeer have to hitch a ride.
Why not make it now? Because it'll take a bit and I have to make a goblin.
So far, we've seen crowds of caribou, gallons of grunions, and
Grunions.
rascally rodents. But coming up is a close encounter with a 10-legged terror.
A crab.
That's next on the most extreme.
Crabs have 10 legs?
In an increasingly crowded world, it can be hard to find a place to get away from.
Oh!
So
I just
that's why
realized
number
something.
7 in our countdown of super swarms
I
has
forgot
taken
we could have
privacy
watched
to the
Growing Up
extreme.
Creepy.
This contender has gone to ground, deep underground.
That's why they aren't arachnids. Well, I thought they weren't arachnids because they were underwater.
Caves are perfect real estate. They're a safe haven because it can be hard for both predators and intrepid explorers to force their way in. caves are quiet. Caves are a constant temperature.
Yeah, for Halloween.
And caves can be close to water. But caves are also dark. Very dark. But that's no problem for the animal that's squeaking in to number 7 in the countdown.
Squeaking. Ah, bats!
The bat.
I love bats. Sea spot? What do you mean sea? I don't want to know.
Caves in central Texas shelter the world's largest bat colony. 20 million Mexican free-tailed bats swarm all over the ceiling.
Look at them in all their
But there are
240p.
some problems with living in such an extreme crowd. Just trying to find your baby would be enough to make any mother a little batty. The other problem with living in a cave is the lack of sanitation. So when bats go up, stuff comes down.
Thank you for showing us bat piss.
This is a pile of bat droppings. It's as tall as the Statue of Liberty, some 90 meters high.
It is not asbestos.
It becomes a mountainous meal for swarms of cockroaches. And humans wanting a close encounter of the turd kind.
Why?
In autumn, the bats leave the Bracken Caves for Mexico, and the cleaners move in. Huge vacuum pumps suck the bat droppings to the surface, where it's bagged and sold as garden fertilizer.
What?
But there are other crowds that also make a big mess. Today, thanks to modern sanitation, most of us don't have to worry about where our waste goes, but it's still a big problem. It's estimated that if you collected all the human excrement produced in one day and put it in the enormous Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans, it would fill it to the height of a 4-story building. The collected droppings of 20 million bats also creates a staggering stench, which might explain why every night this crowd likes to get out for a breath of fresh air.
Hi, Cappy. We're making a goblin.
Privacy, unlike our next contender.
I'd show you what it's supposed to look like, but putting the book up like this was a pain in the ass.
Tropical islands are some of the least crowded places on the planet. Unless you're on Christmas Island in the Indian Ocean, home of number 6 in the countdown. The red crab. These crustaceans are all over the island like a
The PNG thing is a good idea. I do not I should get a fancy home-style book holder.
Some 500 people share Christmas Island with about 120 million
I lost
red
count.
crabs.
1, 2.
Fortunately, for most of the year, the crabs live inside the forest. But once a year, at the first sign of the
I
wet
did
season,
something
the
wrong. God damn it.
entire adult crab
I
population
fucked up
marches to the
somewhere.
sea.
Yeah, I think we have one, but it's too big for my desk. Right now, my book is just leaning up against the thing that my camera is leaning on. Okay, hold on. I had to restart. So,
It's an
what I'm gonna
epic
do.
8-kilometer journey out of the rainforest through villages across busy roads, and down cliffs to the beach.
Ah. Camel. Camel. Let's see.
The crabs
I'm gonna
that
have to-
survive the week-long trip dip themselves in the water to replenish their body fluids. And then it's time to mate.
I'm gonna do this.
The red crab is number 6 in the countdown because an estimated 60 million
take a picture of it.
sex-crazed crustaceans swarm across the beach.
I'm sorry, what?
Then each female releases over 100,000 eggs into the water.
Oh, Bernie, you don't have my stream key, do you?
But crabs aren't the only
Bernie, can
ones
I
living
give
in
you my stream
extremely
key?
crowded real estate.
Return to crab.
In England, the city of London.
Do you know how to
has
use
over
that?
7 million people. This may seem crowded.
Like, if I send
but
you a
if
picture of the
area
goblin,
city was
could
divided
you put
into
it up for
tennis
me?
courts, there would be 1 person per court.
Damn it. Okay, never mind. Because
But if you travel to Hong
Here,
Kong,
I'm gonna send you a
the
picture of the
living
goblin.
conditions
Oops.
are really crowded.
I'm gonna send you a picture of the goblin anyway.
While
And
the
then-
population is similar to London, the amount of available land is so small
Could you
that each
make it
tennis court would have to hold 25.
Easier for me to put on the stream.
Red
And then
crabs
I can just
certainly
add
don't
that
suffer
now.
from demophobia.
If you
Even the
can,
babies stick
if you're
together
able
when
to.
they return
If
to
not,
shore
then tell me to
after a
fuck off
month
and
at
die.
sea.
But, you know.
Then they start their own march up into the forest as part of a swarm so special.
Like, so that it's
it
not
forms
like
its
the whole
own
page. So that
living
it's just
red
like, I don't know, like if you're able to like cut around the goblin. I don't know what you know how to do. Like if you're able to make it
Living in a
just the
swarm
goblin.
this
If
big
not,
would be enough to make
just
anyone
cut
a
out
little
like
crowded.
most of the background. If possible.
Hello.
The
Hi, Michael.
story of the next extreme swarms begins millions of years ago in the islands of Palau, south of
Hi.
Japan. When a submerged reef rose from the sea, it created the landlocked
Okay.
saltwater lakes that became home for
Thank
the
you,
most
Bernie.
unusual swarms in the countdown. Welcome to Jellyfish Lake. Each day, millions of jellyfish drift slowly from one side of the lake to the other.
I know it's not the best picture either, so.
Safe inside their private pool, these extreme jellies have become vegetarian. They feed thanks to millions of microscopic algae growing inside their bodies. The algae collect sunlight and photosynthesize, creating an excess of sugars and proteins which feed the jellyfish. In return, they form a swarm of synchronized sun worshippers. Every day, the jellyfish mass together to swim from one side of the lake to the other, keeping out of the shadows.
That's pretty interesting.
However, jellyfish aren't the only animals to have a mob mentality. We'd like to think of ourselves as individuals, but there's some evidence that when you put humans in a mob, a different psychology takes over. We've all seen flocks of birds and schools of
Did you hear
fish
the
moving
news?
as
FedEx
one.
and UPS are merging. They're
next
gonna
time
go
you're in a
by the name.
crowd,
This is so
Watch how humans also move in synchrony.
okay. That made me lose count. I'm mad.
One study has shown that crowds of people can move, jump, and clap with extraordinary precision. Slow motion analysis has revealed that the hand clapping of one crowd was accurate to less than 1/64 of a second. Such is the power of mob psychology. The synchronized behavior of the jellyfish is spectacularly impressive, given that these simple animals don't even have a brain. But then it doesn't take much thought to form a swarm.
Ooh, the yarn getting stuck on my costume is going to drive me nuts.
Jellyfish are mostly drifters, congregating thanks to the power of wind
Same.
and current.
You don't have a brain?
But our next contender has to survive an endurance ordeal that would cripple any Olympic athlete.
Okay, Cappy. You do not? Them.
The fourth contender in the countdown of extreme swarms hangs out in the mountains of central Mexico. This is no ordinary forest. And these are no ordinary trees.
My gloves don't want to work anymore. Okay, there we go.
Instead of leaves, they have butterflies. Lots of butterflies. There can be 20,000 on a branch. And 220
Is a white background
million in
okay?
a
Sure.
swarm. And that's why number 4 in the countdown is the monarch butterfly. This swarm has assembled in Mexico to escape the cold northern winter. But the butterflies can't stay here because they need to lay their eggs on a plant called milkweed, which only grows up north. So come spring,
My phone doesn't want to
it's
do
time for
anything at the
millions of
moment. Okay,
monarchs
that's
to
awesome.
move.
There we go. Do I play games or try to art before you go out today?
Entomologists have tagged individual butterflies and found that they can travel at average speeds of up to 130 kilometers
I don't know.
an hour.
I feel like it's harder to stop a game than it is to... I feel like it's harder to... Wow, I feel like it's harder to stop a game than it is to stop, like, art flow.
But then in
So maybe
autumn,
play a
it's
game.
once again time to head south for the winter. Monarch butterflies really are the ultimate endurance athletes.
Shut up.
Some individual butterflies can travel 5,000 kilometers.
Shut up.
That works out to be a journey
No.
of about 150 million body lengths. If we tried running the equivalent
Leave me alone.
distance, we'd have to travel around the Earth 11 times.
You know what I meant.
Millions of monarchs may give human athletes a run for their money, but they're no match for the billions of bugs coming up in the countdown. So far, we've seen a sky of butterflies and a sea of jellyfish. But if you thought a swarm of crazy crabs was bad, coming up is a plague of truly biblical proportions.
That's
next.
No.
Extreme.
If it makes you feel any better, Cappy, monarch butterflies are going extinct, so they can't get us. That probably makes you feel worse, but...
We may be the beginning of the end.
Hopping in to number 3 in the countdown is the locust.
Because, milkweed is going extinct. So they can't...
Need to enlarge locusts to turn them into
So
a
they can't,
destructive force.
breed.
For what these grasshoppers lack in size, they make up with sheer weight of numbers.
Well, and also like their habitats like being destroyed is the main thing. What was I doing? Okay, 1, 2,
The
3, 4,
locust
5.
is number
1, 2,
3 in the
3.
countdown because a single swarm can contain 40 billion insects. These vast hordes threaten over 20% of the Earth's surface.
Yeah, so a lot of the milkweed in central Mexico, and well, so people see milkweed as like a real weed. So when they're migrating, they have nothing to eat, and so people that are in the what's it called, like the path of their migration patterns are encouraged to put out like milkweed like in a pot or whatever so that the butterflies have somewhere to eat. And then they don't have, and so that's like one of the main issues.
Back in the 13th century, one writer in a doomed city compared the approaching army to a swarm of locusts. It was the Mongol horde of Genghis Khan. His name meant universal ruler.
Genghis Khan.
And he went on to create
Genghis
the largest
Khan.
continuous land empire in history. He began by uniting the tribes of Mongolia. Then he swarmed across the continent. With each town he captured, his army grew until it was 250,000 strong.
I don't get that
At
reference.
its height, the Mongol Empire stretched from Hungary to Korea and from Siberia to Tibet. Imagine the size of the empire if Genghis Khan could have traveled like a locust. For when these grasshoppers grow up, they get wings.
I did not play Gears of War.
Locusts can fly for 17 hours without stopping, traveling up to 5,000 kilometers to find food. But
That's
even
insane.
This plague would be completely overwhelmed by the next contender in the countdown. The cold, stormy seas around Antarctica covers 20 million square kilometers. It's a huge home for a huge swarm of tiny creatures. Coming in at number 2 in the countdown are krill. These miniature shrimps thrive
What?
on microscopic plants blooming in the nutrient-rich waters of the Southern Ocean. They never get any bigger than your little finger, but if they stay out of trouble, they can live for up to 7 years. And the best way to keep out of trouble is to stick together in a swarm. Swarms of krill are big.
Okay.
Very
Let me
big.
I'm
One
fighting
swarm was
with my
estimated
yarn.
to cover more than 450 square kilometers and was thought to contain 2 million tons of krill.
I'm gonna have
That's
to
about the
roll
same
this
weight
into a
as the
ball.
entire human population
But I don't
of
think y'all
Canada.
want to watch me do that right now because it's going to take forever.
Unfortunately for krill, they have another name. They're sometimes called red whale feed because a whale can eat an African elephant-sized portion of krill each day.
Trying to
But
shove
back
its
on dry
insides.
land, there's another population
back
that's
in.
rapidly forming a swarm of krill-like proportions. There was a time when the human population grew only slowly.
What is Thunderbird?
Birth rates and death rates were about the same, keeping the population stable. But recently, things have changed, and
Okay,
the
let me
human
see.
swarm started growing fast.
That's cute.
To see
That
just
works.
how quickly the human population has exploded, you need to journey back in time.
Oh, okay.
For thousands of years, humans were having lots of children, but losing many of them before they turned 5. So, by the year 1500, there were probably about 460 million people on the planet.
I see, I see.
Then along came the Industrial Revolution and the advancement of science and technology. the death rate started falling and our population started growing. Our swarm has already become 12 times bigger than at the year 1500 and is predicted that by the turn of the next century, we'll be a swarm 11 billion strong.
So I say actually dig the team behind it because it's open source and very privacy focused. Very nice.
While it looks like humans are taking over the Earth, at least the sea belongs to the krill. It's been estimated that there are 100,000 krill for every single human on the planet.
My god. Oh, did you not have the most extreme in Australia copy? The modern vaccine essentially doubled their numbers, basically.
They're the best of the best. Only one animal is a more extreme swarming machine. It's number 1, and it's coming up next on the most extreme.
Oh,
Be
my
warned.
alarm.
The most extreme swarm in the countdown is a lot closer than you think. A horde of billions have conquered Europe, but it could already be too
So yeah,
late
this
to
was
stop the
something
Empire from
that was on
invading their
Animal
home.
Planet. So it was on Animal Planet in like the
Fighting
early
its way to
2000s.
number 1 in the countdown is the Argentine ant. These
Good job,
tiny
Bernie.
terrors are becoming the most common household pest in the world. They can't sting, but they can bite. Their simple battle plan is to keep attacking until they overwhelm the opposition. But the
Oh,
ants
that's cool.
also have a secret weapon. Unlike other ants, colonies don't compete with each other. They cooperate. By working together, they're forming a super swarm to conquer the world.
This, I believe, was also made in Canada.
Early last century, the
But
first
we got it
British
in America
invaders
because it
left
was
their
just
home
all
in
on Animal
Argentina
Planet.
by stowing
But
away
Animal
on
Planet, you
ships
didn't
bound
need
for
cable to
Europe.
watch Animal Planet here.
The army of ants wiped out native species as they advanced. Now,
There's
there
other
are
reasons why
billions
you're a
of
nerd,
Argentine
but
ants
that's
in
okay.
millions of nests, and they're all genetically related. That's why these ants are number 1 in the countdown. Their empire stretches 6,000 kilometers, all the way from Italy to Spain. It's the biggest super colony in history. The closest thing to a human super colony occurs once every 144 years in India. The Mahakumbh is the most sacred of all Hindu
I
pilgrimages.
also ate this shit up as a
That's
kid.
why in 2001, an estimated 70 million people visited
Why'd you say such ass?
on the Ganges River during the 6-week festival. It was a time to cleanse the soul and wash away sins in the purifying waters of the river.
Such as, oh.
This could be the largest human gathering in history and could be seen from a satellite orbiting over 600 kilometers above the Earth.
You played
At
Yu-Gi-Oh.
the end of the festival, the worshippers return to their homes.
You watched
But
anime
the
as a
invasion of
child.
the Argentine ants will never end.
I was like,
The
what's
swarm
ass?
is spreading globally, even to remote islands in the Pacific. They've even managed to invade a school playground in Auckland, New Zealand, home of professional entomologist Ruud Kleinpass.
The thing that makes these Argentine ants so extreme is the fact that they all recognize each other. They're so closely related. If I were to take this ant on an aeroplane with me and drop it off in a playground somewhere in France, let's say, chances are that the French ants would say, "Bonjour, sister. Nice to see you. Welcome to France. Why don't you join our big, great European swarm?" Goes to show, eh? These ants that cooperate with each other have got other things to worry about. They don't need to fight each other. They can concentrate on other things, such as how to take over the world.
Perhaps we could learn a lesson from these tiny invaders. Imagine how much nicer the world would be if the human swarm started to cooperate like the Argentine ant. For when it comes to swarming, there can be no doubt that the Argentine ant really is the most extreme.
I don't know if we should switch to growing up creepy, if we should just stay on this. I feel like we should just stay on this and I can watch growing up creepy another time. Because I liked that show all the time, not just during Halloween. I usually watched it over the summer. Oy.
That's about the same weight
My
as the
fucking-
entire human population.
Why
of
did it do
Canada.
this? No.
If you think you have a beautiful
Okay.
body, just wait till you see the unique physiques found in the natural world. We're counting down the top 10 most extreme body parts in the animal kingdom and seeing how they measure up to our own appendages.
I feel like I remember this episode.
Find out that size really does
Yeah, that
matter
works.
when body parts are taken to
Question,
the most
just in case. Is there any way you can make the background transparent? But if not, then I'll just put them. I don't know where I'm gonna put them. Maybe like here.
extreme places
Yes? Okay.
and extreme animals. But some animals are more extreme than others.
I'll find a place to put them. I'll put them like under chat or something.
Join us as we count down to find the
Oh, I
most
need to put a
unusual,
counter on my
the most extraordinary,
phone now because
the most
extreme. Oh, my phone is going off.
Our countdown of extreme body parts starts cooking in the scorching heat of the Sahara Desert. We're on the trail of an animal that really keeps its ear close to the ground. It's the fennec fox. Smaller than a house cat,
7.
this is the smallest fox in the world, but it has a serious set of ears. The fennec fox is number 10
Excuse
in the
me.
countdown because those enormous ears really are all the better to hear you with. They act like furry satellite dishes, funneling the smallest sounds into the eardrum so that even on the darkest nights, the fox can target the tiniest creatures creeping over the sand.
I'm going to
Imagine
Wow.
if you
Is it
had
crisscross
ears like a
sauce?
fennec fox.
and then scooch forward. Okay.
We'd have to have
I don't
ears
want
that
ears like a
measured
fennec
1/3
fox.
the length of our body. That's an awful lot of ears.
Ew.
If we were like the fennec fox, we'd have ears nearly twice the size of our feet. Actually, we're all getting a little foxier because ears keep growing with age.
They
Our
do?
ears increase about 1/30th of a millimeter every year. So at that rate, we'd have ears like a fennec fox if we lived for about 16,000 years.
Bro.
But not all ears are equal. Everybody's ears are different, even on your own head. And some
Well,
researchers believe this can be a
I
sign
don't
of
think
how
that's
our
where
brain
Foxy
works.
Grandpa came from.
A group of Russian scientists measured the differences in length of people's left and right ears. They concluded that if your left ear is slightly longer than your right, it indicates you might have analytical abilities associated with the sciences. If your right ear is longer, you might have a tendency towards the creative aspects of the arts.
What?
The theory is the difference in ear length is thought to reflect which side of the brain is dominant. You can tell something else from the ears of the fennec fox. For big ears have another function in the desert, as biological educator Paul Hahn explains.
These guys, despite their small size, have the largest ear-to-body ratio of any canid. Canids are animals like dogs and wolves and foxes. Well, they have adaptations in their ears that allow them to dissipate heat. And we like to joke around and say that they have ear conditioning.
Oh my god.
These big ears work just like the radiator
That number
in
does the
your
gift keeps
car.
on giving the mobile
They're
app and
packed
scan a
full
QR
of
code that
blood
autologs
vessels
you.
lined
Oh
close to the
hell
surface.
yeah.
The blood carries heat away from the engine and radiates it out through the massive ears.
Okay, let me see.
While ear conditioning may explain the fennec fox's oversized
No, that
ears,
looks fine.
our next contender has enough strange body parts to baffle even Dr. Frankenstein. While
Thank you,
number
Bernie.
9 in the countdown is no monster. It is such an extreme collection of body parts that it could have come straight from Dr. Frankenstein's laboratory. All you need are the 4-webbed feet of an otter, one paddle-like tail of a beaver,
Oops.
and the beak of a duck. Put them together, and what have you got? It
Is
really
it
is
still
alive,
visible?
and it lives in Australia. Paddling in to
There he
number 9 in the
is.
countdown is the platypus.
Side of the desktop app which I've done the groundwork on. Hell yeah.
Frankenstein.
Everybody
would be
say thank
proud
you,
of this collection
Birdie.
of spare parts. It's easy
That's
to
not a
see
good
how it
place.
uses the web
Can you see
feet as
this okay?
propellers and the tail as a rudder. But that's no ordinary duck's bill.
Should I make it bigger?
It's actually packed with hundreds of receptors that detect the
Oh,
tiny
wait, I can
electric
put 'em over
currents
here.
produced by bugs moving in the water. No wonder early naturalists couldn't believe their eyes. In 1799, explorers returned to England with the first platypus
There
specimen.
we go.
It was greeted with such skepticism that naturalists dissected the pelt expecting to find stitches attaching the bill to the skin. They thought the platypus was a hoax.
I'd also,
Then
to be fair, if
during
I saw a
lunchtime,
platypus, I'd
scientists
also
got
be like, that's not
fooled by a
fucking
collection
real.
of body parts. In 1912, an amateur
It looks
archaeologist
fine.
working
I
on
sent you a
Piltdown
picture
Cliff
from
in
a
Sussex,
book and the
England,
page wasn't
discovered
straight.
what
It looks
seemed like
great.
ancient human remains. For over 40 years, the
Everybody
Piltdown
watched me
Man
take the
was
picture live on
celebrated as the
stream. If
much
anybody's gonna
searched
yell
for
at you
missing
about the
link,
goblin looks bad, it's my
performing
fault.
combining the features of both human and ape. And best of all, it was British. It wasn't until the 1960s
Still got the
that more
art student in
sophisticated
me.
archaeological dating techniques exposed the Piltdown Man as an imposter. It was revealed that the skull was human, but only 500 years old. The jaw belonged to an orangutan, and the teeth came from monkeys and
Wow.
hippos.
Wow.
Even today,
Faking
no one
skulls
really
now.
knows who planted the Piltdown plot. Nobody doubts the platypus, though. This extreme collection of body parts has a fossil record going back more than 100 million years.
Oh. Oh.
Our first two contenders may have strange bodies, but have you
Me
any
too.
idea of the twisted things animals can do with their appendages? Find out why these animals are no dummies next on the most.
Yeah, exactly.
Extreme.
Bernie.
In the tropical forests of Indonesia, our next contender in the
What
countdown
is
of
it
extreme
on
body
here?
parts loves a little rain.
Oh, thank you, Cappy. Send you the cursed guns I found on COD. Okay. What is stuck
Lots
to this?
of rain means lots of mud. And
Is it
that's
like
great for
tearing?
the
It wouldn't
secretive
surprise me.
animal
I
that's
got this on
rolling into
Amazon
number
last
8
year.
in the countdown.
The way it laughs.
This extraordinary pig is a dentist's worst nightmare. It has 2 teeth growing straight through the roof of its mouth.
What?
These extreme tusks are actually crazy canine teeth. The Barbaroussa is number 8
That's not
in the
real. I
countdown
need to turn down my
because,
fan.
unlike our teeth, Barbaroussa tusks keep on growing. Sometimes they curl
Hair
around
clip.
so far that they can grow right into their own skull. But the upper canines are mostly for show. It's the lower tusks that are used as weapons and are sharpened regularly by rubbing against trees.
Turn the fan off because it's bothering me, and then in about
Luckily
10
for
minutes it's
babies
gonna
and
be like,
females,
I'm hot.
being
I'm gonna have
under
to
the
turn it
teeth
back
is a
on.
guy thing. It must be really uncomfortable having a mouth full of such extreme dentition. How would you like to have canine teeth
You sent me a
30
snap?
centimeters long growing out of the roof of
Dude,
your
I
mouth?
hate feeling air blowing on me, and it's getting close to winter, so it's like cold in the house. But the issue is that this light that I have is warm. The fact that I'm streaming in the Miguel costume has me a little bit embarrassed, so I'm warm. And then every now and then the heater's turning on, which is behind me, which is also warm. But for the most part, it's cold.
Our canine teeth are very
So I'm
small
like,
indeed.
I don't know. It's a catch-22.
That's because
sent me a
male
snap.
apes
Okay,
use
hold on.
big sharp canines for aggressive displays and as weapons to defend themselves. When humans expose their teeth, sometimes it can be a sign of happiness.
Thank you.
But the human smile is also closely related to the primate fear face. A puppet
Okay, let me
baring
see what
its
you-
teeth is the chimp's way of declaring it's scared. So, next time you're on a roller coaster, take a look to see if the humans are happy or if they're wearing their primate
If I can
fear
click on
face.
Snapchat. This is terrible. Can you
For
see
the
this?
Barbaroussa, exposing
This is
your
terrible.
canines makes the ultimate fear
What the
face.
fuck is that?
One look at that extreme dentition
Why are
is
you- why can
usually
you do
enough to
that?
scare away any rival males.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Our first 3 contenders have
Thank
big
you,
teeth,
Cappy.
big bills, and really
Can I
big
even
ears.
replay it? I can. I'm gonna show it
Coming
again.
up,
Also,
could this
like,
be
why
the
is it yellow?
real-life Bigfoot?
By the way.
Find out next on the most
Like, what?
extreme.
What is that? That's terrible. How do I save
In
this? There we go.
Madagascar, the next contender in the
I'm just
countdown
naming that
of
in the chat because
extreme
that's
body parts
terrible.
really has its finger on the pulse of the
That's
forest.
the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Meet
Oh, that guy,
the
we call him
eye.
Tiny Tommy on account of his
It may
tiny
look
Tommy.
like
No, he
a
doesn't kill you
cross
with bullets. The gun
between
is
a
gonna do an
possum and a rat,
aneurysm
but
on
it's actually a very
sight.
peculiar primate. It's number 7 in the countdown because it's got
Also,
a
I want you to know,
long
I am
finger.
not doing poppy time.
The
I made my
eye's
mom go
bony
do
middle
poppy
finger
time
can
because
be
I don't want to
3
go
times
out there
longer than
while
the
my
other
grandpa's up
fingers,
because he's
and
just
it's
gonna make fun
used
of me.
to drum up finger food. Scientists have discovered that the eye finds food
I
simply
didn't
by
want to
tapping
open
its finger.
Tumblr. Okay. You can probably
Those
find
big
something worse,
floppy ears
potentially.
are listening for the difference in resonance between the solid wood
There's like
and the hollow tunnels
a lot
filled
of fabric
with
going on.
juicy
I'm having
grubs.
issues. Anyway, okay. I have to do this till 12, so we're on 8.
Having accurately located the grub with its fingertip Morse code, it's a simple matter to rip apart the wood and use the versatile drumstick to extract a meal.
Why is there a helicopter above my house? What's happening?
The eye may be blessed with an extremely
I have
useful
issues
digit,
with them
but in
up
Britain,
here.
there's
I'll
one
link
woman whose
everybody.
dramatic digits are a bit of a curse.
I mean,
Meet Ruth
Two.
Ward. Her fingernails are 22 centimeters long. But living with these extreme appendages isn't easy.
how do you feel about this lady's 10 long
I haven't
fingies?
got my car in gear. I can't use a hand brake. I can't do jewellery up. I can't do a necklace up. I can't do a button up.
It
Why
took
have your
her
nails that
3
long if you
long
can't
years to grow her
adjust to be
fingernails?
able to use
So why
buttons?
would anyone want nails so long that to paint them requires 3 bottles of nail polish?
I just got carried away with the idea that they were growing, see how long they grow. And they grew.
You have to be
Even
so
Ruth
careful with
Ward
your
would be
nails when they're
impressed
long
with
like
the
that,
Eye-Eye's
though.
incredible finger. Although it's lucky she hasn't seen the next contender, because
How many
then
is that in
she
dollars?
might have been
What?
tempted to grow her toenails too.
How many is what in dollars? Like the... Oh, okay, so with 3 bottles of nail polish, you can buy nail polish at the dollar store, so realistically, if you can go get it at the dollar store. Nail polish, there's lots of drugstore nail polishes too, so nail polish can be pretty cheap.
That lets you walk on water.
Especially in the early 2000s.
And that's why the Jacana tiptoes into number 6 in the countdown.
Pricey nail polish? Well, so nail polish, like, especially now, because you can buy, like, gel nail polish, which she wouldn't be able to use it because she wouldn't really be able to cure it anyway. But if we go based off of just, like high-end nail polish can get really pricey. Nail polish can get up to the hundreds because there are brands like Louis Vuitton that sell nail polish.
Unlike the Jacana, we'll never be able to trot across lilies because our
But usually the range you're looking for, like, for decent nail polish is probably like around $5. Maybe.
If we had feet like the Jacana, they'd be well over 1 meter long.
Yeah.
That's an incredible 60% of your body length. Things with feet
Yeah,
that
so it's,
size
yeah.
can be really scary. Bigfoot is one of the great American legends.
So it'd be like,
Hundreds have searched the
what?
forests
So
of North America
5
for
times
evidence
3
of this
is
giant ape man.
15. 15 times 10 is
But apart from
150.
sightings of very large footprints, undeniable
But in the early 2000s, it was much cheaper to do that. But that's just the polish. We're not even talking top coat, because top coat can be pricier than the nail polish. But I doubt she uses top coat, because she's, I don't know. I don't know anything about this woman.
Your best chance of finding a big foot is to visit the New Balance shoe shop in New Jersey.
Wow.
Owner Larry Gershberg can help
True.
those
There's a
with
lot
big
of there's a
average
lot of
feet.
like things that could go into this. This is a very difficult math problem. Is she using base coat? Is she using more than one color? Is she using like shiny toppers? Is she just using top coat? Is she using drugstore nail polish because it's cheaper that way? Like, you know, there's so many factors.
Larry stocks shoes of all sizes, but over the years, he's noticed a growing trend in the national foot size.
Yeah, this is what math professors dream about.
We are seeing people's feet getting
How much would it be if she used top coat? How much would it be if she used high quality nail polish? How much would it be if she used cheap nail polish? How much would it be? How much would it be in total if she used base, top coat, toppers?
And this isn't just a recent phenomenon. Our feet have been steadily growing for the last century.
Yeah, I know.
The average American woman's foot was a dainty size 3.5 back in 1900.
Wow.
Over the years, thanks to an improved diet, American women grew bigger and taller, and their feet kept pace. Now the average woman's foot is a stylish size 8.
Oh, my feet are still small. I'm like a size 6.
Of course, we've got a long way to grow if we want to catch up to the jacana. This is one bird that really does have big shoes to fill. Even though the jacana has put its best foot forward, it's still only number 6 in the
Yeah, top coat,
countdown.
like, yeah, it protects the nail polish.
So big that they'll tear up all the record books. That's next on the most
Extreme. See, now I'm getting cold. Like, I'm warm on like one arm, but I'm getting cold.
Crawling in to number 5 in the countdown is
in my skin.
the fiddler crab. This male has an arm that would make Schwarzenegger jealous. He has one claw that's massively enlarged. While the female fiddler is much less lopsided.
So apparently this show was made with a lot of DMCA free footage.
A big claw is a big help when it comes to finding a mate.
Like when you Google it, it's like, yeah, it's just used with a bunch of DMCA free footage apparently. So I don't know how much of this they filmed and how much of it they just took from the internet. I don't know how much of it they just stole from National Geographic.
Fiddler crab fighting is an
And then they just had somebody animate random shit like, okay, now what if a baby was 200 times the size of a baby? And then somebody animated that. Because I think all their budget went to this shit right here.
You'd still never bulk up enough to match the fiddler crab. That's because our arms usually make up about 6% of our body weight. If we were fiddler crabs, we'd look very different. Our arm would be 10 times bigger. No wonder the fiddler crab has trouble carrying around that huge appendage that weighs 65% of its body weight.
65%.
When the tide goes out on the mud flats,
Yeah, if they actually got the animal shots.
And that's when the males
But I have no clue if they did. This was Animal Planet, so I think they just had access to this kind of footage.
He has to pick tasty treats off the mud flat using only one arm, so spends twice as long feeding as the female.
Yeah, so it's just a bunch of DMCA free footage
That
that they voice overed. Oh, it's blue. Exactly, yeah. Look at that one, it's orange! Birdie, look, it's you! You're playing COD, you can't look, fuck.
While the male
That one looks like a
fiddler
koi
is the
fish.
Countdown's most extreme arm wrestler, even he would get a real good licking from our next contender.
Dude, the two of you were a crab. I literally just lost. That's so funny. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
In the
I take a break for a
grasslands of
second.
Brazil,
This
wherever
glass
there are
is
termite
hurting me.
mounds, you can be sure to find our next contender.
You are a
So
crab.
termites are one of the favorite foods of the
I know you
giant
like
anteater.
crabs. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can use the rag that I
This
clean my
bizarre
glasses with.
collection of
My
seemingly
microfiber.
mismatched body parts is built for one thing: to seek and destroy ants and termites.
Woo!
That
My book.
long nose comes with an extreme sense of
My
smell,
book.
and its forearms and claws are so powerful that the giant
Okay.
anteater can rip open a termite
That was
mound
kinda
or
crazy.
ant
It's doing
hill
it
with a
again,
single
goddammit.
blow of its paw. But the anteater is number 4 in the countdown because of what
I need
happens
to, like-
once it's found a nest.
No, you can get a game in. You're allowed to do that. I just realized because you'd been quiet for a bit. I was like, oh shit, he's playing COD. Okay, he's not gonna be able to see this.
The anteater can be more than 60 centimeters long.
Dude, it's
covered in sticky
uh
mucus and can be
soft
poked
cover.
with termite tongue
So I don't think you can
150
break the
times
book spine. There's no spine to
This
be
extreme
had.
body part puts our tiny tongue to shame. The average human tongue measures about 25
Yeah, it's not like
millimeters from lip to
hardcover.
tip.
It's like,
But this
well, I mean, I
tongue
guess
belongs
this
to the
is the
human
spine, but
equivalent
it's
of the
not like
giant
hardcover.
anteater.
It's all squishy, so that's why it doesn't. I fucked up. Anyway,
Umar
since I
Alvi
did
from
this,
London is
I can show you the
proud holder
goblin.
of one of the longest tongues in the world, stretching about
There you go.
65 millimeters.
I know
from
you
tip
see it
to
on the
lip.
screen, but also, here you go. Yeah, so I can't break the book
Umar's
spine.
long tongue provides endless entertainment for his friends, but no matter how you measure it, his tongue still
Because there is no
match
spine to
the
be broken.
giant anteater. Licking up to 30,000 termites each day gives the giant anteater an unexpected advantage in the struggle for survival.
Oh, hold on. Since
It's developed
I'm gonna
a
drink some
tolerance
water,
to the
since
normally
I've already-
toxic formic acid found in its diet of ants and termites. This poison accumulates in its
Cracking
body,
job.
which means that few
I love the way
predators
you
could
say words,
stomach an
Cappy.
adult anteater.
I love the words you use.
But baby
'Cause we don't
anteaters
speak
are
like
still
that here.
tasty because they haven't eaten enough toxic termites. That's why they hide on top of mom's back until their amazing tongue has helped
Like, if
them
I were a
to lick
true-
all opposition.
Burqueño, which only certain people here are gonna know what that means. I'd be like, yeah, the picture of the goblin is all sick, Bernie. You did a good job.
Chakana's putting their foot in it. But what is the next contender? Is it really a giant sucker? Find out next.
I feel like this looks really messy, but honestly, there's not too much I can do about it. My webcam's in a weird area. That is a funny thing a manager could say to somebody. I can't imagine my managers ever telling me I was incredibly verbose.
To find the next contender in our countdown of extreme body parts, we're having to sink to new depths.
I have a degree.
Scientists have
Having a
long
degree
searched
doesn't
for this
automatically make you
mysterious
verbose.
denizens of the deep.
People can have degrees and not know how to
Although
speak.
they've had no trouble studying its common cousin, the squid.
For instance, no, I'm kidding. I'm gonna leave him alone for a little bit.
There are more than 300 species of squid
Look at
in
the tiny
world.
little
They're all
squid!
ferocious hunters and extremely
I agree.
intelligent. Luckily, most of the species we encounter are relatively small and easy to handle. But things are very different if you keep.
I have a degree in 3 certificates. You're shockingly well read.
In this high-pressure world of near-freezing darkness, there are huge creatures that have terrified us for centuries.
See, when people do that to me, I just go, is it because I'm a woman?
Its monstrous body parts have baffled scientists.
You know,
for
women can
centuries.
read now.
Most
We're
of what
allowed.
we know of these
Or I
enormous
pull the other
animals
one, but that one
comes from
people like even
specimens
less than
like
the
this
woman
that were found dead on the shore. That's because a
Get
living
there.
giant squid has never been filmed. And so we have to imagine what they're like in the wild.
I dissected a squid when I was in elementary school. I think I was in like
We know
4th
that, like
grade.
all squid, they can move either
You're
slowly
right,
by
and you
gently
should say it.
undulating their fins, or rapidly by jet propulsion.
Wow, you have a really extended vocabulary. You know black people are allowed to read
We
now.
also know that they hunt using their tentacles and a parrot-like beak that crushes their food into tiny
I'm allowed to
pieces.
do those things again. Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, squid is good. I want, like, calamari. I remember the first time I tried calamari, my mom wouldn't tell me what it was because she was afraid I wasn't going to eat it, which was fair.
Imagine
You
seeing
totally
giant
get it, no,
eyes of a
literally.
giant squid. It's not hard to see why these animals were once thought to be monsters.
I mean, technically, I think squid still could be considered a monster.
Imagine
Fucking look
swimming
at it.
next to an animal that's the same size as a truck and semi-trailer. That's over 17 meters of squid.
Is it just squid that they don't eat, or do they not eat other things because they're intelligent?
So it's no surprise that this giant has the largest.
Because technically there's lots of food that is intelligent.
The squid's eye has a 38 centimeter diameter, making it about the size of a large baseball.
Technically, most animals are intelligent.
Our puny eye is less than 2.5 centimeters across, which is smaller than a golf ball.
Like, they're allowed to do that. I'm not gonna, like,
Despite their relatively small
hate on
size,
them.
human eyes are packed with
But
some sophisticated technology.
I'm just saying.
Lining the back
Just
of the
squid.
eye is the
Interesting.
retina,
Okay.
which lets us see the world as a pattern of tiny dots, just like a newspaper photograph. That's because the retina is made up of specialized detector cells, all 125 million
No,
of them.
no, Bernie.
But
My
that's nothing
arms
compared
hurt.
to the giant squid.
It's because of the
There are
position
more
they're
than
in,
a
because
billion
normally
detector
I,
cells lining the back
so will
of
I
this
in my
giant
part.
eye.
You know what? Fair.
And it needs every last one of them when it goes hunting in the darkness of the deep ocean.
I don't know, picking one animal, not eating one specific, like, sea creature that is hard to eat anyway, like, because it's intelligent, is, like, it's, like, an interesting choice, because it's, like, do you still eat pork? Like, pigs are intelligent. Chickens are intelligent. Well, chickens, it depends. But, I mean, like, chickens, like, all animals have a brain and use it. Aren't octopus smarter? I don't know. I think we have more proof of octopi being smarter because they're good at, like, escaping their tanks and stuff like that. And squid don't do that, but octopus are smart in, like, a weird way. Also, yeah, I never hear things of, like, squids being intelligent. Like, not to hate on squids, but... Yeah, when they're like, it can understand as well as, like, a 4-year-old, I'm like, okay, but... yeah, we're looking at it in a human-centric way. Yeah. Octopus also grab coconuts and run around in them like a crab. Octopus also punch fish because they want to.
The locals issued a challenge to the rest of the country, laying down that nobody could...
Like, I love animals. I understand that most animals are smart and they have a conscience and they know what, like, they are intelligent in their own terms. I still will eat them because it's food. It's like, you know. Dude, octopi are insane. They also have 8 brains. Yeah, they had to take the brains from the jellyfish.
There's no doubt that the elephant would win by
But I just think it's like a silly thing to, like, whatever. Like, elephants have a lot of human-centric traits that people attribute to them, but that's because elephants are intelligent in such a way that I don't think we were able to comprehend that animals could, comprehend things the way that we do. But, like, elephants grieve, and elephants understand. Like, circus elephants, if they're treated well, especially. Because, like, there's a lady I follow, or not follow, I've seen on, like, Instagram, and she has a circus elephant that she, like, grew up with. And so her and her family, like, raised it. And when they live in an area where, like, wind can knock down trees and stuff, and she'll be like, the elephants that obliterated a woman because she was allegedly part of— yeah, dude, they're fucking smart. And then they rocked up at the funeral of— yeah, dude, they're like, how dare you mourn that bitch? Oh my god, isn't that guy has a fucking plastic surgery show now?
Some patients have been asking me, well, you know, can you give me a nose?
I recognize him. But, like, so this guy, like, this woman, so she takes this elephant, and she'll be like, okay, the tree got knocked over in our road, and she just takes the elephant, and she's like, let's go move it. And she moves the elephant then moves the tree for her, and it understands, like, why it has to do that, and it wants to do that, because the thing is that if it didn't want to do it wasn't gonna do it. They're too big for that shit. Dude, this guy has a plastic surgery show now. It's called Botched.
I don't like the bump here. I don't like the way it curves and kind of seems to hook down. And as I'm getting older now, I know that to look young...
I'm going to go on a rant about the Roman nose again. Because... I love the Roman nose. This started with the milkman from That's Not My Neighbor, because he has a Roman nose, and a lot of fan artists got rid of it. They were like, no, you don't need a Roman nose. This is my lock screen. And look, they included his Roman nose. And so I love this. This has been my lock screen for like a year. And oh my god, the amount of fan artists that are like, here's him in my style, and they remove his nose, and it's like, the game itself has so little features on the people themselves. The fact that that's in there, and you're just gonna remove it? Coward. His nose is gorgeous, you're just jealous. And then... And then, like, I don't know. I've never had issues with my nose. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm not insecure about my face. I think I look like a little boy, but that's my own thing. That's because I look like my dad. But I'm not gonna go get plastic surgery to fix it, because there's nothing I can do to fix that. Why did I put this in there like that? Oh well. I'm pretty sure this is on 10. Let me count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, yeah, I'm on 10. Also, it is also expensive. I don't like my nose. Oh, dude, deviated septums are like the worst. I know of too many people though that like have deviated septums and use that as an excuse to get like a whole nose job too. And it's like, but why? The rest of your nose isn't causing you to have issues to breathe. But I don't know. I don't have dysmorphia about my nose, so maybe I just will never understand. Why doesn't this want to do
The
the
most
do?
extreme
There we
body
go.
parts on the planet can be found on the
Unless you like my
plains of
friend who had a very
Africa.
large cyst on his face,
Striding
so his
in for
insurance
number
paid
one
for
in
it.
the countdown is the skyscraper of the
Yeah, I
Animal
can come
Kingdom.
from anywhere.
The
I
giraffe.
like my biggest insecurity is my under eyes, because I have like hollow under eyes.
Tallest of all.
My eyes kind of sink in, and so I've got like hollow under eyes, and then I've got like chronic dark circles, and so I've always been insecure about that. But I don't think I can fix that. I don't think there's any way for me to fix that. Dude, look at him chewing.
The world's tallest animal has some seriously stretched body parts. Its legs alone are taller than the average man. Its neck is even longer, giving it a great view of any potential predators in the grassland. Having a head for heights also means that the giraffe can feed in places no other grazers can reach. Even its tongue is enormous, for plucking branches like a miniature elephant's trunk covered in sticky saliva.
I'm gonna get laser for my eyes.
The giraffe has such a bizarre
Yeah, I get that. I will say the only thing with
of just how
LASIK that I
tall it
think
really is.
sucks is that it kind of is only a temporary fix, and oftentimes, like after a couple years, you end up having to use your glasses again anyway, and you can't go back and get them laser fixed again.
He'd be 3 times taller than the average man. That's a towering 6 meters high. Every basketball coach in the world would love a player tall enough.
But I
to
get what you
lean
mean.
on the
I ended up
backboard.
learning to, like...
If
That's
we
because
were
people get
built
them
like
done too
giraffes,
soon.
we'd have another neat trick.
But also shrug.
With
I don't know. I
37
mean, do whatever
inches
you
of
want.
tongue,
Your
we'd
dad
have
got
no
that? Doesn't your
trouble
dad wear
clenching our
glasses?
ears.
Wait, what do you mean get them done too soon? How do you get it done too
But the
soon?
giraffe's most extreme body part is its neck.
So what, they're using it incorrectly?
Incredibly, they have only 7
Reading
bones in
glasses,
their
I
neck,
see.
just like humans. But their bones are much, much bigger. Imagine if your neck bones were 25 centimeters long.
No, thank
Then
you.
you'd really be able to stick your neck
Myopia.
out.
What's myopia? Oh. I know I can't get LASIK because my eye is just lazy, and you can't fix that. Do not do this in your 20s. We'd had a 10-year span for your particular prescription to mellow out. Interesting.
Just think of the difficulty
A
involved in
scarred
getting
cornea.
rid of
Holy
water.
shit.
Because it has to pump blood
Oh,
through the
okay.
giraffe's heart weighs
Interesting.
over 10 kilograms. That's 35 times heavier than a human heart, and it pumps 6 times the amount of blood each minute.
You worked with
If it
someone?
weren't for
Okay.
the special valves in the neck controlling the flow of blood,
Does him being an
the
asshole have
giraffe
anything
would
to do with this
pass out
story, or are
from
you
the
just
rush
letting
of
us
blood
know?
hitting the brain every time it bent over for a drink.
I don't know how it's fucking spelled, bro. I accepted my fate. I like having glasses now because it kind of hides the dark circles. He's 30 and he didn't like how he looked with glasses? Okay. Smile.
But there are some humans that find long necks so attractive that they've become known as the giraffe people.
You know, as a little girl, when I first got glasses, boys were very mean to me when I had them, and they told me I was ugly a lot. I got told I was ugly a lot as a child. By little kids. About my, because of my glasses. I did, my Nana also kind of made me feel bad about my glasses. She always told me I looked better with them off. But then she also bullied me for my dark circles, so it was like, choose one.
Looks like the women have longer necks. The rings are said to be not as uncomfortable as they look.
He
The
got
only
laser eye
danger is if
surgery.
they're removed, because the neck muscles are so weak they can no longer support the head.
You just want the security of working eyeballs? That's fair. In about
Also the
5
key to
years,
winning a match.
damn.
That's because romantic giraffes give a whole new meaning to necking.
I hate the way the narrator says things. From 30 to 35, let's go.
Bull giraffes use their extreme necks as weapons. Each sledgehammer blow drives the head's two bony horns into the side of an opponent.
I like giraffe pattern because it's always so different.
It's no surprise that such an extreme collection of body parts should find such an unusual way to settle disputes.
Interesting. Did you not used to need glasses, Cappy?
That's why there can be no arguing that when it comes to body parts, the giraffe really
Glasses are
is
cool. They're elegant and make me look smart.
the most extreme.
Oh, okay. I've had glasses since I was like 5. As soon as his wife got glasses, he changed up. Well, yeah, I guess he got to switch up because if the whole time he had glasses, he was like, they make me look ugly and I look stupid and I hate glasses, and then his wife needs glasses. He can't continue with the rhetoric. He's got to be like, they look nice. 9. Have I? Okay, so also, I didn't get I might not have. I might have gotten glasses when I was like 6. I think. I don't remember. I had to wear a patch for 3 hours a day for like 2 years because my vision in my right eye was so bad. I was almost blind in my right eye. It did the thing again. Was the giraffe number 1? I wasn't paying attention, I was yapping. It was, okay. Why does it do this? I don't like...
Just when you thought it was safe.
Why is this one so quiet?
Along came the scariest killers in the natural.
What is that fucking thing?
We're counting down the top 10 most extreme predators in the animal kingdom. And seeing what happens when the
my eyes
become the
had been bad. I used to walk into the wall next to the hallway. Like, there's like a wall to the hall. I used to walk into the wall next to the hallway, and my mom would laugh at me. And then, during kindergarten, kindergarten, they did my first ever eye test. And they called up my mom and they were like, hey, you need to get her to the eye doctor. Because she's almost fucking blind in her right eye. And then she took me to the eye doctor and the eye doctor was like, yeah, she's almost blind in her right eye, but I think we caught it just in time that we can fix it. And then my mom felt bad for laughing at me. And I was like, you thought I was stupid or something and just kept walking into the wall. And you just let me continue to do so because you thought it was funny. And it turns out I was blind. It turns out I couldn't see where the wall was because I'm not getting a monocle. I have an astigmatism in my left eye, so I don't need a monocle.
Almost as dangerous as getting a drink of water.
Because they have a prescription in my left eye for the astigmatism. I mean, I can see perfectly fine out of my left eye, but... No, that's stupid. That's what because my mom was also like, oh, now you can get a monocle. And I was like, that's stupid. And she was like, how is that stupid? And I was like, I'm going to look stupid. What do you mean? Two monocles is just glasses, Bernie. Because when I was a kid, she'd be like, what if you just got a monocle? And I was like, what is wrong with you? And she was like, I think it'd look cool. And I was like, then you get a monocle.
These cold-blooded killers can be 3 times longer and 10 times heavier than the average man. But it takes more than just great size and strength to become number 10 in the countdown.
I don't know what you
Crocodiles
want
may
from
only
me.
have a brain the size of your thumb, but they're smart predators.
I hope their brain is bigger than the size of my thumb. My hands are
Hiding
too
in the
small for
water
that.
waiting
That's not
for
fair
your
to the
lunch
crocodiles.
arrive may seem like a simple hunting technique, but crocodiles have turned it into an art form. They can spend up to a month watching and waiting, learning what happens in their killing ground.
I don't think they need everything that is living needs. Well, okay, I was gonna say everything that's living needs a brain. Jellyfish don't have brains or hearts, but
When it's time to
no, crocodiles are not all instinct because people have had. Well, those are mainly gators.
Scientists believe that crocs feel their way forward, tiptoeing slowly
I was
towards
thinking like of the people who have like pet gators and they like to be pet and stuff like that.
Crocodiles learn the contours of the bottom and can
But
really
I don't
climb
know
out, which brings
if
them
you
up
can do
right
that with a
next to the
crocodile.
prey, both in
Gators
and
seem
out
more
of the
like
water.
dogs. I don't know anything about crocodiles like that. Yeah, but plants don't like... Plants are different. Plants are not crocodiles.
Just like crocodiles, humans have had to hunt to survive for thousands of years. Today, human predators hunt for
My
different
arms
prey.
hurt.
Meet Jennifer Butler. She swapped a spear for a credit card and dresses in fake furs because she doesn't hunt for food, but for bargains.
My arms hurt.
Jennifer is a professional shopper in Los Angeles, California. This makes her the ultimate urban predator, because in today's world of supermarkets and restaurants, most humans no longer have to kill to survive. Instead, Jennifer uses all the hunting skills of her ancient ancestors to help clients track down items in the urban jungle.
Good. So we've got the credit card, the shoes, and our shopping list. So we're ready for the hunt. Okay, let's go.
It seems that all predators have some skills in common.
I would say one of the most important is focus. You know, a hunter, when they're looking, first of all, they know the terrain they're walking into, but they have the focus that's needed at that given moment.
I'm very
to find
crunchy,
the
I
item.
apologize.
And most hunters, it might be the animal they're looking for. For me, it's the object that I'm looking for that represents the person most effectively at the greatest value. I have to know what's around me, so I have to have that knowledge. Particularly in retail, I need to know the stores. I need to know them from the discount to the great designer stores.
Oh no.
And I need to know what...
I never thought about...
needs to
Wait, hold on. You went skydiving? I read that like, oh, I never thought about like having to wear glasses while skydiving, and then I realized.
Like crocodiles, urban predators learn their hunting
Cappy
grounds
lore.
and patiently search out the perfect target before making a killing.
Twice?
The
You're
only difference is that
crazy.
when crocodiles make a purchase, there's usually no refund.
2? Interesting. That's crazy.
Luckily, these extreme predators don't have to hunt very often. They really are cold-blooded killers, which means a half-ton croc sitting in the sun all day uses the same amount of energy as a sparrow.
I don't even want to go on the
A
shot
big croc
right
can survive a whole year on just one big dinner. Our other contenders have to kill much more frequently, which is why the mighty crocodile is only number 10 in the countdown.
I have a childhood friend who had a before I'm 30 bucket list. She took me, told another mate I'd just been, and he really wanted to do it too. So win again. That's so funny. They were like, well, if Cappy can do it. I
Only
can't do
one
it.
animal could rival
Just
Robin
casually
Hood,
goes again.
and it lives under the trees of a very different forest in Southeast Asia. Down in the mangrove roots, there are so many fishes that sometimes food can be hard to find. And yet the surface can be swarming with potential prey. The problem is how to get it. One fish has worked out a truly extreme solution.
Reminds me of the Drake and Josh episode, the mantra skydiving. Both of them were like, I'll panic and chicken out. You gotta go with me to keep me safe. What? Yeah, what were you gonna do?
It's number 9 in the countdown.
That makes sense. They felt safe with you, and that's what made them feel safe. But, like, also, that's what the instructors are for. The instructors are there to keep you safe. Yeah, keep you safe from light gravity.
Prey will splash down. It needs only 1/10 of a second to judge the catch, which is very important when there are other hungry mouths waiting in the outfield.
I want my crisscross applesauce share,
But even the archer
but I think
fish
it's
would
too
be
big for
jealous
my
of Lee
desk
Willis
area.
from Luling, Texas.
Yeah, you can't possibly fuck it up.
With just one
I
slice
am
of
afraid of heights and falling, so that is my worst
human
nightmare.
archer fish.
Being from Texas, I don't like to brag, but I can
Shit
probably
is so
spit a
expensive.
watermelon seed through a keyhole.
Except for that
30
one
paces.
instructor that fucked up. I have a story about my ex, actually, that has to involve involves skydiving. That sounds worse. Oi. What do you mean he jumped out without a parachute?
Competition, and she said, "Well, are you going to try your luck again this year?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll go try to spit the seed again."
How?
You're all rested up from your cruise. You ought to be able to do pretty good. I thought, well, okay, we'll give it a shot. First seed didn't hardly leave my mouth and hit the floor. And she hollered at me and said, "Well, now you got to do better than that." So put the seed in my mouth and reared back and let it fly. And I lost sight of it. Couldn't tell where it landed or where it ended up. And then everybody in the audience started saying, "Wow," or they were really getting excited. And it had gone
This
past
is
the
gross.
previous
You don't get
record,
on the
to a
plane without
distance
a...
of
Yeah.
68 feet, 9 inches. And then I got excited.
The secret to Lee's success lies in the way
I'm
he
assuming
rolls
he
his
died.
head and an awful lot of practice. Imagine the day
Was
that
somebody
the archer
with
fish
him?
would cause if it spat like
Did he
a
have
real
somebody
fish.
strapped to his chest? Or was it just him?
Perhaps it's lucky that watermelons don't grow in the mangrove swamps of Southeast Asia. We've shot past the first
You don't
two
think so?
contenders,
Okay.
But coming up, could you escape from the clutches of the land's largest predator? On the most extreme. The frozen wastes of the Arctic are home to number 8 in our countdown of extreme predators.
Oh, I've heard of cases like that.
The polar bear is one awesome killing machine. An adult bear can weigh as much as 7 men. One swipe of its huge paw could take out prey 3 times its size. But the
Yeah.
polar bear's nose is by far its
I was
most
gonna say,
important
so
weapon.
my ex,
For in these barren
he's
wastes,
actually
finding
named
something to
after
kill
his
can be
dad's best
difficult.
friend who was a
sniff out a seal
like he was in the military, but he was essentially like a skydiving instructor for like the military people, and that happened. One of the people he was training, their parachute wasn't working, so he gave them his, and then he took theirs, and he wasn't able to get the parachute to work, and so he passed away.
beneath a meter of ice.
I feel like they should have more than one backup chute. I feel like skydiving instructors shouldn't be prepared to, like, that anytime they jump that they are at risk of dying in case someone's chute doesn't work. You know what I mean? I feel like that's like, I don't know. That seems terrible. But hey, I'm not a skydiving instructor.
Polar bears are only successful with about 10% of these attacks on buried seals. Perhaps they would have more
I just
luck if
like,
they adopted some of the latest
man.
technology available to human hunters. Inside this briefcase,
Yeah,
is a
you'd have
device
to-
that
you'd
lets
have to
law
be.
enforcement officers search buildings from the outside.
Is that safe though?
Through, not ice.
I mean, I guess it's safer than not having a parachute at all, but yeah.
This motion detector radar works by projecting energy beams through solid concrete. The frequency of the radar signal is unaffected by stone, but bounces back off the water in a living
That's
body.
crazy. Skydiving just seems way too scary to me. I can't do it.
Police to determine the location
I can't even
and
fly,
movement of
let
suspects
alone
behind the
skydive.
wall. A polar
The
bear
squirrel.
would
Oh
use
god,
the
yeah,
motion
the
detector
squirrel
radar
suits. They just
because
jump
in
off
this
a cliff
frozen
and hope
land,
for the best.
Food is hard to find and even harder to catch.
Oh shit, look at him go.
Sometimes a polar bear can go for weeks without making a kill. So it's no wonder that in summer, this mighty predator finds a different dietary supplement. Plants may be easier to catch, but they're also the reason why the polar bear's only number 8 in the countdown.
One gust of wind and a sturdy
We've
tree
seen
and
bears
no,
that don't
literally.
quit. Fish that can spit. And crocs make a
Fish
hit.
that can spit.
But coming up, what terrifying monster created this sticky situation? Find out next on the most
Probably a spider.
Extreme.
I feel like I'm moving really slowly, but also my arms hurt for some reason.
The ultimate creepy crawly. It doesn't take much imagination to work out why the spider is number 7 in the countdown. There are more than 35,000 different spiders in the world. All of them are predators that use one of the most remarkable hunting devices in the animal kingdom. Weight for weight, the silk in a spider's web can be
Not all
5
spiders
times as
use
strong as
webs.
steel and can hold 4,000 times its own weight. To turn silk into a trap, an orb web spider releases a single thread into the wind. When the free end catches hold, the spider cinches up the silk and attaches the thread to the starting point. From this bridge, the spider lays down the
this is
basic
really
support
interesting,
structure
actually.
for the web, before finishing it off with a spiral of the sticky silk used to trap its prey. But one extreme spider prefers to knit a portable web.
I no longer like looking at the screen.
It's easy to see how the net casting spider gets its name.
Yeah. I can't believe you've gone twice. You absolute mad lad.
But spiders aren't the only ones to use nets for catching their prey. Some humans have copied the net-casting spider in the fight against crime.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, people that fuck around with
There's a
bungee
new
jumping.
way of bringing back criminals alive. Inside this cartridge, fired from a standard tear gas launcher, is a device that would make Spider-Man proud. The webshot capture net fires a Kevlar mesh net up to 9 meters and is
That's
designed
gotta
to
hurt.
control people carrying weapons other than firearms.
Well, bungee jumping, I feel like you're, like, I feel like out of skydiving and bungee jumping, you are more likely to die bungee jumping.
Officer. But travel to South America and you can find another way to use a web to safely bring down a target from a distance.
Okay.
The bolus is a
Let me go
weapon
back
made
to
by fastening
increasing.
2 stone balls with thongs of rawhide. When
Thongs?
Patagonian Indians throw the bolus, it twists around the legs of the target, bringing it down.
Because, like,
But
it's
one
more
animal
likely,
has been hunting
like,
with a bolus
unfortunately
for a
with
lot longer
skydiving,
than humans.
the teachers are going to die before you do, because you paid for an experience you did not pay to die. You know what I mean? But they know the risks.
Like a female moth.
But with bungee jumping, there's nobody to take the fall for you. You just die.
This is one spider that really has lunch on the fly.
That's the spider.
Don't bother hiding from the next contender. It can track you down even on the darkest night. The snake slides into number 6 in the countdown because it's a predator with highly sophisticated sensory equipment. It can taste the air with its tongue, and its unblinking eyes detect the smallest movements. But this snake also has infrared sensors tucked into the pits along its lips that let it see wavelengths of light that we only feel
Nope,
as
I fucked
heat.
up somewhere. I definitely fucked up
These
somewhere on here.
infrared sensors feed their information to the same part of the brain as the eyes do. That means the snake has the heat sensor's thermal image superimposed over the visual image of its prey. It's a deadly combination. We need technology to turn night into day. Thanks to thermal imaging cameras, now humans can see like snakes. The heat generated by a living body
they can nail 'em
stands
off at
out from the
zigzagging.
cooler, darker surroundings. That's why law enforcement agencies around the world have installed thermal imaging cameras on helicopters. Now, suspects can't hide under the cover of darkness. As any snake knows, there are huge advantages for the hunter if they can see without being seen.
Just like Metal Gear,
A snake
I
may not
think
be able to detect a criminal's concealed
I think
weapon,
one of those
but
existed
there was
before
no
the
hiding
other.
For this dirty rat. This massive mouthful will take many minutes to swallow and many days to digest, which is why, despite their deadly reputation,
I do think
snakes
one of
don't
those
kill
existed
very
before the
often,
other.
unlike the next contenders in the countdown. Even though the snake strikes
The
fear in
snake.
the heart of millions,
The snake
it's
existed.
still only number 6 in the countdown. Because coming up, prepare for the shock of your life when you see electrifying action that can turn a day at the beach into a real scream. That's next on the most extreme.
Okay.
There's something fishy about the next extreme predator in the countdown.
Keep your hand out of the water.
What's wrong with the water?
Visitors to the Amazon
What?
are terrified of the stories of deadly piranha. Fish
Oh.
that can strip
Again?
your flesh to the bone in seconds. But there's a predator in these waters that's much scarier than piranha.
Oh.
It's even scarier than this Cayman crocodile. The most frightening predator in these waterways has no teeth at all, but a truly shocking secret.
Oh, is it a leech?
Meet the electric eel.
Oh. They don't have teeth? What do you mean they don't have teeth?
Each electric shock is being generated from up to 200,000 linked electrochemical cells that make up about 4/5 of the eel's tail. They combine to pack a punch 5 times stronger than sticking your finger in a power socket. It's more than enough to stun a caiman.
I thought we were about to watch a caiman die, and I was like, I don't want to see that.
The electric eel is number 5 in the countdown because of the way it uses electricity.
My
Low voltage
legs are
pulses
rotting.
used to navigate and
I don't know where to put my legs. I want to sit differently, and there's nowhere else for me to
eel's
sit.
high voltages are simply stunning. It's an extreme way of hunting, so it's no wonder that it's being used to catch both fish and criminals. This is a taser. It shoots electric probes into a suspect's body and then delivers 50,000 volts of electricity.
It just locks up your body. You feel the current all the way through, and it locks up your muscles, and there's just nothing you can do.
This is a training program for the police to learn what it's like to get hit by a taser. Getting hit by this extreme predator would be just as
Do you
shocking.
think they do that in the military too?
But there is another
I think it would
fish
bring me
that
joy
can
to know
turn
my
a
ex got
pleasant swim
tased.
in the water into a nightmare.
My book doesn't want to stand up. Okay, that works.
Life as a seal
I
could
also
be
thought they
easy
had teeth.
if it wasn't for the most infamous predator in the sea. The shark. The great white shark strikes from below, where a simple change of direction can cut off all escape routes. Powered by 2 tons of muscle, it's easy to get a little carried away.
Wait, how are your innards coming out again? I shoved all your innards back in.
Those massive jaws and razor-sharp teeth are infamous. But there are other reasons why the shark is number 4 in the countdown of extreme predators. For sharks, the vast expanse of the ocean can make finding food difficult. But for these marine biologists, finding sharks is easy. All you need is a dead fish and a fast boat. Biologists are using an underwater camera rig to try to measure just how fast a shark can swim. And it doesn't take long for a mako shark to appear.
Oh my god, I got the cups. Aren't mako sharks like some of the fastest sharks? Me.
Sharks use their extraordinary
Crazy?
acceleration to
I was
catch
crazy
up with
once.
their prey.
They locked me in a room. A rubber room. A rubber room full of rats. And rats make me crazy.
Imagine if you could swim as fast as a mako shark.
Where's Browning to be crazy with me? I stopped counting. I forgot what I was doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, perfect.
You could cover the length of an Olympic swimming pool in only 1.7 seconds. But there's no use swimming fast if you can't locate your food.
Nope, I fucked something up.
Which is why sharks are armed with an array of sophisticated senses.
I don't know where I fucked up, so I'm just gonna restart the whole row.
Excellent eyes, ears,
Okay,
noses,
1, 2, 3,
and
4,
can
5.
even detect tiny electrical signals
1, 2,
from their
3.
prey. So it's no surprise that when the US military came up with the flying equivalent of the shark, they called it...
I thought my phone was vibrating and I couldn't figure out why.
This small unmanned reconnaissance aircraft can be used to spy on enemy positions, sending data back to a base over 700 kilometers away. As machines like the Predator grow more and more sophisticated, our bodies are starting to get in the way. That's why scientists at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio are trying to connect the mind
I know where that
directly
is.
to the machine. Brain-actuated control systems mean that you can move the cockpit simply by thinking about
I've been there
banking the
before.
flight simulator. It's hoped that one day this system will be installed in fighter planes so that pilots can attack at the speed of thought.
That sounds like a terrible idea, actually.
It's just that they don't happen very often. For despite their bad reputation, sharks can go for weeks without making a kill, which is why they're only number 4 in the countdown. So far, we've been scared by sharks, shocked by eels, and struck by snakes. But coming up, discover why some people fear the leader of the pack. That's next on the most extreme. The wolf is definitely the leader of the pack. A wolf can run twice as fast as an Olympic sprinter and is strong enough to bring down animals more than 8 times its own weight. The reason the wolf is number 3 in the countdown.
Why do I still have... Okay.
These killers work as a team.
What am I doing wrong?
Once the pack has singled out a
There's
victim,
supposed to be 36
they run it
stitches on here.
down
Maybe I don't
using
have
their
36
numbers
stitches
to
for whatever
attack from
fucking
all
reason.
sides.
Pull up a loop. And now we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Hunting
8, 9,
together
10,
lets the
11,
pack
12,
bring down bigger animals than a single
15,
wolf
14,
could hope to
15,
kill on its
16,
own.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Why do I only have 35 stitches? Oh my god. I'm supposed to have 36.
Really know how to wolf down their food. In a single meal,
I'm gonna count it again. Because if not, I have to start doing the painstaking process of undoing this row by row and counting.
Such an efficient hunting unit that it's no wonder it inspired a different group of hunters.
And I don't want to do that.
In the past, Native Americans saw wolves as teachers. They sought to emulate the way wolf families worked together and copied the wolf's alertness when hunting. But it was inspiration from another fighting animal that gave rise to a new nation in Africa at the end of the 18th century. Shaka, king of the Zulu Empire, used a revolutionary new fighting tactic based on the most important animal.
I don't even have 36. I don't even have 35. I have 34.
When approaching an enemy position, Shaka would first send out the horns.
Why?
The fastest warriors to surround the enemy. Then in went the chest, the veteran fighters leading the frontal attack. The loins were kept in reserve and sent in to secure the kill. Working together as a team has obvious benefits for both humans and wolves. The wolf pack is an extremely effective hunting unit, killing at least once a week. But they're no match for our next contender, for there's another pack of extreme predators that have been called the wolves of the sea.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Don't let the fin fool you. Number 2 in the countdown eats sharks for breakfast. And he is an extreme predator. It's hard to comprehend just how big and how strong the so-called killer whale really is. Try to imagine an animal the size of an elephant that can swim 6 times faster than an Olympic swimmer. A pod of orca work like a wolf pack and can basically kill anything in the sea, from great white sharks
I'm gonna lose my mind,
to
Bernie.
tiny stingrays.
I have to, like, basically restart the head.
As the largest member of the dolphin family, orca have one of the biggest brains in the animal kingdom. So they've been able to work
And
out
I was
how to avoid that venomous sting.
almost done.
But orca are not natural-born killers. It takes many years to perfect their hunting skills. A mother must train her calf to become a killer. Off the coast of South America, these predators have even learned to boldly go where no whale has gone before. Orca are number 2 in the countdown because not even these creatures on land are safe from those massive jaws.
Holy shit.
Despite their ferocious reputation, there are no records of killer whales ever attacking a human. To catch a human requires a very different set of skills. Los Angeles-based private investigator Tom Barnes knows that locating humans that don't want to be found means spending more time in front of a computer than behind the wheel of a fast car. Like any predatory animal, finding your prey is half the battle. And that's where modern technology makes the job much easier. Global positioning systems make it relatively simple to track a suspect from afar. Tom can enhance his hearing with parabolic microphones, his eyes with thermal
I
imaging
like how they
devices,
said the full
and his
government name of
memory
GPS.
with the most commonly used tool in the trade, the camcorder. Being a private investigator may look easy, but don't be fooled. To successfully make a catch in this business requires more than just patience.
being a private investigator is being like a good fisherman. You got to know where to fish, you have to know when to fish, you have to know what kind of bait to use, and you got to know how to reel them in.
Nothing can beat the orca when it comes to catching fish. But even this massive predator can't compete with an animal that has to kill every 2 hours or die. We've seen the 9 contenders. They're the best of the best. Only one animal is a more extreme killing machine. It's number 1, and it's coming up next on the most extreme.
This is what happens when you don't count your stitches, everybody. Always remember to count your stitches.
No other animal has to kill so often. Shrews may be the smallest mammals on Earth, but they have a massive appetite. Armed with poisonous saliva, they can paralyze prey even if it's 20 times their size. A keen sense of smell and a bunch of whiskers help them find their way to the kill.
It's not even about, like,
Are constantly hunting because they have to.
It's just like the fact that I stop counting because I'm like, I know what I'm doing, but then I end up fucking up, and it's like, okay, well, so how bad? When did I fuck up?
Part of an elephant shrew beats 9 times faster than a human's. That's an incredible 600.
Because I'm like, I've been crocheting long enough that I shouldn't have to count this anymore.
In comparison, an elephant's heart beats on an average
This
only
is too long
25
and it's
times a
pissing me
minute.
off. Where are my little scissors?
Given the shrew's frantic lifestyle, it's no surprise that it needs vast amounts of energy to survive. Weight for weight, a shrew burns through 100 times more oxygen than an elephant because a lot of energy goes into just staying warm. If a shrew died, it would cool down in minutes because it quickly loses heat over its relatively huge surface area. Compare that to a dead elephant that might take days to cool down. To put it another way, if a shrew had the slow metabolic rate of an elephant, it would need fur nearly a meter.
Why do I only have
thick
35
warm.
stitches?
But the shrew doesn't have big fur. It has a big appetite to power its extraordinary metabolism. One kind of shrew has to eat up to 3 times its own weight in food every 24 hours. That
Me too.
means to keep pace, an adult human would have to eat 1,920 hamburgers each day. The only way the shrew can get all the calories it needs to survive is to be the busiest hunter in the world.
Okay.
Don't let its tiny size fool you, for when it comes to predation, the shrew really is the most extreme.
I only have 34.
Hold your nose, because we're letting rip the worst smells in the natural world. It's a dirty job, but someone's gotta count down the top 10 most extreme stinkers in the animal kingdom and compare them to our own smelly
You
instincts.
thought he said hold your nuts?
Discover who's ahead by a nose when stink is taken to the most extreme. Earth is a planet of extremes. Extreme places and extreme animals. But some animals are more extreme than others.
I hate counting.
Join us as we count down to find the most unusual, the most extraordinary, the most extreme. Walking in to number 10 in the countdown is an animal that can kick up a real stink.
That number's correct, so hold your balls. This extreme animal is about to bust them. Number 1 is about to
Rover can smell revolting. They have a nasty habit of rolling in anything that stinks. And they just love sticking their noses into the nastiest
I am now
places.
covered in yarn. Okay, awesome.
No wonder we take their hygiene seriously. When it comes to smelly behavior, dogs have no hang-ups. And it's all thanks to their ancestor.
Oh my god.
The wolf. A wolf will roll in any stinky substance because it's a great way to mask its own scent so it can sneak up on dinner. Today, the wolf's descendants still love to roll in anything that smells bad. And this gets right up our nose. Literally. That's because when we encounter something that smells bad, molecules have evaporated off the noxious substance and floated through the air up into your nose. At the top of your nasal passages is a patch of special neurons about the size of a postage stamp. They're covered in hair-like projections that catch the odor molecules and then trigger the nerves that tell your brain there's a smell in the air. Our ability to sniff out stinks is very important. According to researcher at the Monell Chemical Senses Center in Philadelphia, Pam Dalton.
Bad smells have significant potential to give us information about things that we should avoid, and they do so very quickly. Sometimes we react to the presence of a bad odor even before our brains have consciously processed why we want to move out of this environment. Something that smells like rotting food or human waste, which we've probably been taught from the time we were little children. Don't touch that. If your mother takes you into a public toilet, the first thing they say is, don't touch anything in here. So we readily acquire the belief and the understanding that this is something that might hurt us.
But imagine if we could smell as well as dogs. Their sense of smell is 1,000,000 times more sensitive than ours. That's because their long snouts have more than 10 times the area of smell receptor cells, and their wet noses act like Velcro, trapping scent molecules as they drift by. Dogs live in a world dominated by smell. That's why they're fascinated with each other's rear ends. They're the canine equivalent of business cards, thanks to anal glands that emit a small amount of their contents with every wag of the tail. And you thought they were just pleased to see you. Dogs often prefer to take a more direct route with their messages. Both urine and droppings contain important scent signals that pass on information about the dog's sex, health, and even its mood. So the next time your pet dog leaves a message
what was I
on
going
your
to
carpet,
say?
remember, it might just be trying to tell you how much
Poppy
it loves
likes to be in laundry, whether it's clean or dirty, because he likes the way it smells. He really likes laying on my pajamas because they smell like me. Like, it's a thing I've noticed. Like, if he's on my bed and he's like, you know what, it's time for me to really sleep, I'm going to sleep hard, I'm going to sleep deep, he always picks my pajamas. Because usually, usually towards the beginning of the night, because I'm always at my desk, he'll sleep towards the end of the bed so he's closer to me. But then he ends up going towards the top of the bed because my pajamas are usually there, and then he sleeps on my pajamas because they smell like me.
It's firmly perched at number 9 in the countdown because it has a truly disgusting way of keeping cool in the Florida sun. Unlike humans, vultures have no sweat glands. So, to cool themselves down when the going gets hot, the hot
The
get
spoon
going.
hit my glasses.
They go on their feet.
Gross.
The mixture of urine and feces becomes a smelly cooling fluid and is actually more energy efficient than sweating. We may be disgusted at the vulture's foul behavior, but don't forget that our sweat glands can also produce some awful odors.
Maybe that's why even your best friends won't tell you. Are you trying to tell me that I smell? Oh, no, Homer. I smell. You stink.
Thankfully, when we exercise, we don't have to excrete on
Why
our
would
feet
you
to
say
cool
that?
Instead, there are more than 2 million sweat glands in our skin that secrete mostly water that cool.
Why
But
did
under
it-
our armpits, it's a different story.
Okay.
The sweat produced by these glands contains proteins and fatty acids, and that's the perfect food for bacteria. And when the bacteria under our armpits excrete their waste products, we start to stink.
Oh, is that why deodorants are antiperspirants? Because it stops the bacteria
That's why we only
from
apply
on there?
antiperspirants and deodorants to our armpits. And
That
probably
makes
why
sense.
72% of American women surveyed said it was the one personal care product they couldn't live without.
Interesting.
Of course, vultures have no need for antiperspirants. For a start, they don't
Well,
perspire.
they don't sweat. You already said
But
that.
also, it seems the bacteria don't stand a chance against the vulture's novel approach to personal hygiene. Scientists have discovered that the high concentration of ammonia in vulture urine kills bacteria. And the best part is that when you lunch at the local landfill, no one will notice that your feet smell like a sewer. We've sniffed out the first 2 contenders, but coming up, just what is the worst smell in the world? And why do some animals start fuming when you get in their face? Find out next on The Most Extreme. Travel down a river in Africa, and you stand a good chance of getting a noseful of number 8 in our countdown of extreme stinkers. But it could be the last thing you ever smell. The hippopotamus is famous for its ability to detach your head from your shoulders with a single bite. But hippos have another way of overwhelming opposition, and it's truly disgusting. The hippo's secret weapon is the result of its diet. Every night, a hippo puts away over 100 kilograms of vegetation. As it travels through the hippo's massive intestines, it starts fermenting, breaking down into a smelly soup. By the end of its journey, the plant material has become a stinky green grenade,
ready to be thrown at any rival that gets too close for comfort. Hippos are number 8 in the countdown, thanks to the dominance display known as dung showering.
Gross.
Males show who's boss by twirling their tails like propellers to ensure the dung really hits the fan. Luckily, most human males don't try to distribute their toilet smells.
The fact
in the
that he said
past,
most.
things were different. In the Middle Ages, loudly breaking wind was an act of appreciation to the housewife. And we certainly have a lot of wind to break. Each day, the average human toots the trouser trumpet about 10 times and produces about 1.5 liters of digestive gases. Imagine if you could collect the gases produced by all the people in the world in one day.
I don't
You'd
know.
have enough gas to
Oh, you
fill
can't see what I'm
13
doing. I'm so
blimps.
sorry.
And if you analyze the composition
kinda
of our
locked the
digestive
fucking-
gases, you'd find that the main ingredients are all odorless. The smell comes from the tiniest traces of sulfur. Onions and garlic are full of sulfur. Other foods like beans and cabbage are broken down by bacteria that produce sulfurous stenches. And that's why when it comes to
Not the
passing
Middle Ages
gas,
anymore, Bernie.
you are what you eat. Unfortunately, some animals have been eating things that have been creating an environmental mess. Flatulent
Cattle.
cows have long been blamed for producing the greenhouse gases suspected of causing global warming. It's estimated
But
that
they
the
do.
100 million cattle in the United States expel about 6 million tons of methane into the atmosphere every year. But it turns out that cows may have had a bum rap. Contrary to popular belief, not a lot of the digestive gases are released out the rear end. It seems that cows burp a lot. But when it comes to pollution, the hippo is at the top of the heap.
Not him saying
Every year,
pollution.
a
Oh my
hippo
god.
deposits 9 tons of pre-digested
The way the
food
fish
back
are
in
just-
the river, which always draws a crowd of happy hippo hanger-oners.
Gross. That's gross. Hello, hippo.
So far, we've seen dung being flung, birds on the run, and
What a
dogs
perfect time
having
for an ad
fun.
break.
But coming up, we'll huff and we'll puff with bad breath that'll really blow you
I forgot
away.
I had a whole bunch of yarn in my lap.
That's
Okay, there we
next
go.
on the most extreme. To find the next contender in our countdown of extreme stinkers, we're traveling to the southern coast of New Zealand and going
I don't know
in
if I'll be able to
search
finish
of
the head
hookers.
today. My shoulders are starting to hurt.
You'll smell
I think
them
it is
before you
harder to
see
crochet
them,
with this on.
because these hookers are huge, fat, and hairy. Say hello to the hooker's sea lion. It's
Why did
number
he
7 in the
phrase it like
countdown because it has extreme halitosis.
Halitosis.
They may be the rarest sea lions in the world, but if you get too close to a colony of hookers, you'll quickly learn that they have spectacularly stinky breath.
How did we find this out? How did we find this out? Genuinely, how did we learn of this?
Their bad breath is nearly as deadly as their teeth. And it's all because of their diet. These hookers like fish. Lots of fish.
Don't all seals like fish?
A sea lion will eat 30 kilograms of fish every day on its underwater hunting trips.
What happened here?
It's an incredible swimmer that can dive down more than 400 meters and hold its breath for an astonishing 12 minutes. Perhaps this is the best time to meet a hooker, when it's holding its breath.
I wish he wouldn't say this.
A sea lion can live for more than 20 years on its fishy diet. That's an awful long time without brushing or flossing. And that's why this hooker has such a foul mouth. Pieces of rotting food trapped in the teeth create bad breath for both hookers and humans. That's why so many people make such a song and dance about brushing your teeth.
Brush 'em up and brush 'em down. Keep your choppers clean and sound. Help your teeth to stay around until you're old and gray.
Dude,
if you
he
want breath like a hooker
is having
sea
so
lion,
much fun
simply stop
with the hookers
brushing your
thing.
teeth. Scraps of food will start decomposing in your mouth. Bacteria will flourish and start releasing the sulfurous gases that are the prime cause of bad breath. An estimated 60 million Americans suffer from chronic halitosis, but not one of them
There we
can
go.
compare to the hooker's sea lion. As if rotting fish breath wasn't bad enough, these extreme stinkers have found another way to add a foul flavor.
Ew!
Throwing up is the perfect way to get rid of those indigestible fishy leftovers and to add the aroma of vomit to an already putrid breath.
Yeah, sure. The writer said, say less, hookers abound.
When we're in the wilderness, it's easy to get lost. But our next
No shit.
contender never has to ask directions because it's surrounded by stinky signposts. The plains of Africa are home to number 6 in the countdown, the spotted
The
hyena.
hyena! Oh, I love
The savannah may look
hyenas.
deserted to us, but the average hyena is hardly ever more than 50 meters from a foul-smelling scent marker produced by a hyena's backside. These stinky scavengers live in a world dominated by smell. Packs of hyenas
And
mark their
women.
territory by covering the landscape in a foul-smelling paste. They make about 145,000 of these smelly signposts each year.
What a combo.
At night, hyenas really get down to business.
Smell and women, literally.
Smelly business.
Because it's a matriarchal society.
Hyenas are number 6 in the countdown because they turn their anal pouches inside out to produce the stinky paste known as hyena butter.
Ew, why would you call it that?
Each pasting is so potent that it'll continue to reek for an amazing 30 days, broadcasting information about the pack to any hyena that strays into their territory. But hyenas aren't the only creatures who use smell to communicate. In 1960, Hollywood saw the premiere of The Scent of Mystery which was filmed in glorious smell-o-vision. The
Smell-o-vision.
theater had been specifically modified to pump smells over the audience. The
Hopefully
idea
good
was
ones.
that people would experience the smells of, say, a barbecue at the same time as the
Ooh.
action was sizzling on screen. Unfortunately, smell-o-vision was plagued with problems. Audiences received the smells out of sync, and between showings, it was difficult to flush the scents out of the theaters. As word of nose spread, the idea was abandoned.
Why did they show that? What does this have to do with that woman?
Unlike human audiences, hyenas would have loved smell-o-vision. Although all that hyena butter probably wouldn't taste so good on the popcorn.
Why would you say that?
When hyenas get down and dirty, it can be a real crowd pleaser. But coming up next, could this shaggy
What is wrong with
beast
this man?
hold a stinky secret to bring out the animal in you?
Oh no, pheromones. Have you heard of the new thing that incels are doing so that they don't have to wear deodorant? They're calling it pheromone maxing. And they're just not showering. It's not a new thing, apparently it's existed for like a long time, but it's getting popular for some reason again.
We've been using perfumes for thousands
They
of
think
years.
it'll attract women to them.
Today, there's a $20 billion industry based on the fact that we don't like our own stink.
Okay, Smash tournaments
But have you ever wondered what goes into
are not
the
usually
perfumes you
to be
wear?
used to find women. I promise you this voiceover artist
Before
is
the
dude,
development
a
of
fucking
synthetic replacement, most
the
perfumes
hyena
contained
butter.
a foul-smelling extract
Burning.
from a musk deer's anal glands. Perfumers used extreme dilutions of the deer's
I
rear
will say one
because
of
in
my
its natural
favorite
state,
scents in
real
perfume and
musk
cologne though is
really
musk.
Stinks.
However,
So you'd think that the
I
biggest
don't think I would
producer of musk in
enjoy
the world
other people's
would
musk.
be the animal that's coming in at number 5 in the
Because I know
countdown.
people have their own musk,
The muskox.
but, you know.
Surprisingly, the so-called
Excuse me.
muskox doesn't make musk, and it's not an ox. This shaggy creature is more closely related to a sheep than an ox, and it doesn't have musk glands.
I have the hips.
Musk ox musk is actually urine.
Gross.
Try putting that in your perfume.
Why would you say that?
Liberally douse themselves with pee to see who can make the biggest stink. Stand downwind, and the musky smell is strong enough to make your eyes water.
Could you
And if the
imagine being
smell
on a
alone
hike, not
isn't
knowing
enough
there's
to
musk
scare off
oxes
the
nearby,
competition,
and then all of a sudden
they
you're just
use
like,
their
oh,
heads.
oh, what is that? And you start crying from the fucking smell.
Maybe you need to be knocked about the head to think that musk is a sexy fragrance. But if musk smells so bad, why has it been used in perfumes? For centuries, tiny amounts of musk were used as a fixative to amplify the other fragrances in the perfume.
Ah.
The dawn of disco ushered in a new era for purified musk oil. Some thought the earthy animal odor was linked to the sexuality of testosterone. That's why dance floors in the 70s were saturated with the sweet smell of animal anal glands.
Why?
However, not even the most ardent disco king would consider wearing a perfume of muskox urine. Lacking the fixative chemicals found in real musk oil, this is one extreme stink that will only ever make an impact with other headbangers. Our next contender is the biggest stinker on the planet.
An elephant.
The bull elephant is number 4 in the countdown because for 1 month every year, it really stinks. Take a close look at a bull's head and you can see a small gland between the eye and the ear. When the bull's testosterone levels skyrocket, this gland dribbles out a rancid-smelling secretion called must. In Hindi, must means intoxicated, because bull elephants in must are the pachyderm equivalent of college students at spring break. They're
Why?
sex-crazed, aggressive, and smell really, really bad.
What happened to you during spring break?
Female elephants, on the other hand, find the awful odor a real turn-on. They interpret the pungent smell as a sign of a healthy, virile bull. But other males are less impressed with the odor. Elephants in must have been known to kill each other in the fight for the right to mate. However, for males in their early teens, must is a much sweeter experience. Teenage elephants smell of honey and flowers. This sweet aroma keeps young males out of trouble because you need to smell bad to enter the world of sex and violence.
Oh.
Even humans that smell bad can get some good lovin'.
I'm sorry.
All humans secrete pheromones as a part of their natural body odor. These chemicals send subtle messages that affect our behavior. It seems the less we wash, the more pheromones we release. Perhaps that's why breathing deep can really inflame desire. Dr. Winifred Cutler of the Athena Institute in Pennsylvania is an expert when it comes to invisible attractants.
By 1993, I had created a formula that we could actually give to people to put in their perfume. And when they did that, things happened.
As part of an independent study, researchers laced women's favorite perfume with either Dr. Cutler's synthetic pheromone or a placebo. At the end of the study, the group wearing the synthetic pheromone reported an amazing increase in affectionate encounters of more than 70%. Dr. Cutler has used her research to commercially develop chemical extracts of human sex pheromones for both women and men. And according to many, the results are nothing to sniff at. Unfortunately, elephant perfume has been described as smelling like 1,000 goats in a pen. No wonder adolescent male elephants are kicked out of the herd as soon as they start to stink. So far, we've seen jumbos that reek, oxen that leak, and a hyena's mean streak. But it'll be a real gas when we meet a bug that fights using stench warfare. That's next on the most.
I thought he was gonna say
extreme.
using ass, but he can't say that on Animal Planet. Number 3.
The next contender in our countdown of extreme stinkers can be found in forests around the world.
Why did that scare me? No! No,
Most
it's a
people
millipede.
Think of millipedes as harmless vegetarians.
I don't.
But if they get threatened, they can create such a stink that even the hungriest hunter would turn up its nose at them.
Bernie, look
Someone
at your
who
favorite
knows
thing.
firsthand just how malodorous
Millipedes.
millipedes can be is Brent Karner,
Anything
insect
with more
zoo
than 4
coordinator at the
legs.
Los Angeles Natural History Museum.
This creature I'm bringing out
No.
here is a large tropical millipede from Eastern Africa.
I can't watch this
Many
part.
millipedes are very unique in that they have the ability to spray noxious compounds at would-be
So it's
predators.
time to just lock in.
These compounds tend to
You know what?
Stop the predator from attacking the millipede or looking at it as food. The spray usually is very or makes the millipede appear very unappetizing. The smell is usually a very musky smell. If I bring it close enough to my nose, I can smell a bit of a foul, musky odor. I wouldn't hold all millipedes that close to my nose, though, to get that smell. There are some species
It's odd that I
can
like
actually
centipedes and
forcibly
crabs and
spray
such
a
with
noxious
more
chemical.
legs. Uh-huh.
The millipede
You don't, but you don't like
self-defense
millipedes.
system would make
Millipedes have
any
more legs than
chemical
both of them.
engineer proud. When it's in danger, the millipede mixes two chemicals
Snakes that-
together in reaction
Snakes that
chambers
have no
along the
legs
side of its
scare
body.
me. It's because they're all muscle,
Enzymes
and that's
then
probably what
convert the
scares you.
harmless liquid into clouds of the deadly gas
You're afraid of
hydrogen cyanide.
muscular log. Just get really
One
strong,
millipede is
Bernie,
capable
and then
of
the snakes
storing
won't
enough
scare you
reactants
anymore.
To form 0.2
'Cause you'll also have a
milligrams
lot of
hydrogen
muscle.
cyanide, enough to kill animals as large as mice. That means 300 millipedes could create enough deadly gas to kill a human.
Well, not all snakes have fangs. Not all snakes are
Millipedes
venomous.
are number 3 in the countdown.
Anything can
because
bite you,
no
to
other
be
animal
fair.
makes such a lethal stink.
Muscle, when it's hard, though,
But
is, you
hydrogen
know,
cyanide is
hard.
expensive to make. So by
When it's
preference, a
constricting
millipede
around
would
you,
rather
it's
run
not
than reek.
soft.
It certainly has formidable foot power to make a speedy getaway. With hundreds of limbs, it's a good thing millipedes don't suffer from smelly feet, unlike some humans. According to a recent survey, 1 in 5 Americans admits to
I can't
sometimes
feel when a
having
mosquito
smelly
is
feet.
biting me, actually. I've never understood people who can feel when they're being bit. I can't.
Your feet smell because of bacteria that
Like,
feed
I
on
barely
sweat.
get bit by mosquitoes, but when they
Each
do bite me, I
hard-working
can't
foot
feel
is
that they're on
covered in
me.
250,000 sweat glands, which can produce about
I think
half
my
a liter
pain
of
tolerance
sweat
is
each
too
day.
high.
That means in your
I don't even feel its
lifetime, your
legs.
feet will pump out enough sweat to
Like, I
fill
know
a
that they
swimming
also,
pool.
like, numb
That's
the bite
about
and everything, but I don't even feel its
25,000
legs or
liters of
anything.
sweat. But not everyone has a problem with stinky feet.
Oh.
Every year in Montpelier, Vermont, foul feet are celebrated in the annual International Rotten Sneaker Contest. Dozens of kids and their sweat-soaked sneakers compete for the top prize.
This is bad.
Every year, the winning sneakers are enshrined in the Hall of Fumes, a hermetically sealed trophy case where they can decompose with honor.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
The millipede doesn't need to take off its sneakers to make a stink, because when it comes to olfactory assaults, these guys can sock it to you naturally. But if stinky millipedes make you sick, you just won't believe what's hurled at you by our next contender.
Oh yeah, no, I don't feel the legs or nothing.
There's something very rotten in the Southern Ocean. But our next contender thinks that decay smells delicious.
A whale.
Diving in to number 2 in the countdown is the giant petrel. This huge bird has such revolting personal habits that sailors call it the stinker.
What a nickname.
Stinkers are the vultures of the southern seas. They'll eat anything rotten. But this putrid diet is only one reason why a stinker stinks. This smelly scavenger is number 2 in the countdown because it has a secret weapon.
Oh, and just so y'all know, when this episode ends, I'm probably gonna end stream just because I don't wanna. My shoulders and stuff are getting tired, and I don't want to.
Climb too close to nesting petrels, and
like,
you can
hurt
get
myself.
a very nasty surprise.
So we're gonna see as far as we get. I'm really upset that we had to undo half of this.
Stinkers hurl chunks.
Gross.
The petrel's projectile vomit smells really disgusting and is so acidic that it eats through the waterproof coating on feathers, no matter how hard you try to wash it off. But stinkers aren't the only ones who use foul smells as weapons. In World War II, the French resistance were looking for a way to
Like,
harass
it's
the invading Germans.
the way I normally
So their
crochet doesn't
American
cause
allies
exhaustion,
developed
but
a
so that
highly
you guys can
secret,
see what I'm
highly
doing, I have to kind of
stinky
like
weapon.
move forward, and that
It was
causes a
chemical
lot
to
of
put into
tension that I
stink
wouldn't
bombs
think it
designed
does.
to be thrown at German officers.
But it
The
does.
plan was to make the officers smell as though they'd soiled themselves. Hence
Bro.
the name, who, me? Unfortunately, things didn't quite go to plan. The mixture was so unstable that it would often leave whole towns soaked in the stench.
I'm sorry.
Perhaps the French resistance may have been better off using the projectile weapons of the stinker. Or even arming themselves with the animal that's number 1 in the countdown.
Could you imagine an animal arming itself with another animal?
We've smelled the 9 contenders. They're the worst of the worst. Only one animal is a more extreme stink-making machine. It's number 1, and it's coming up next on the most extreme. We've tracked the most extreme stinker in the countdown to this home in Orlando, Florida.
I'm sorry.
Sleepyhead. Hi, big boy. Come on. Come on.
Oh, it's a skunk.
Time to eat.
It's
You're not awake.
the skunk.
Come on, it's time to eat.
How did not a single mustelid,
Kinster shares her
like
home
besides a
with not
skunk,
one,
get on here?
but
Like, not
11 of the world's
no
most extreme
weasels
stinkers.
are on this list. There's no ferrets, no weasels.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. That means I'm missing 5.
Mustelids
So why
are
would
animals that
anyone wanna
produce,
live with so
like, they're
many
like
skunks?
small little creatures, like those, small little mammals, that have,
They're cuddly, they're
um,
quiet, they're clean.
like a
they're very
smell to
social
them. They
animals.
just have a smell.
I started out with one, and it's sort of like having potato chips. You can't just have just one. Thank you. You're such a noisy eater.
Stink bugs didn't even make it on the list.
There may be up to 5
And they're
million
called
pet
stink
skunks in
bugs.
America today. Professional breeders meet the demand by supplying skunks whose scent glands have been surgically removed. So while there are no stink bombs in the Kinser house, even Jamie
still
admits
smell
that
bad.
wild skunks can be real stinkers.
Because you can get ferrets,
It's probably one of the
stink
worst
glands
smells,
removed and
and
they
it can
still
bring
smell
tears to
bad.
your eyes. It does temporarily blind you. It's kind of hard to explain what exactly it smells like. One of the worst things you can possibly smell, other than maybe something dead.
So what is the worst smell in the world? A nationwide survey of Americans tried to find out. Offensive bathroom odors were ranked in 4th place by 38% of respondents.
Okay, we have
Then
reached
came the
where I
smell
had to
of
stop
dirty
previously.
diapers. Rotten eggs got 47% of the vote. But the clear winner, according to 60% of all people polled, was the skunk. The skunk is number 1 in the countdown, thanks to 2 walnut-sized scent glands in its rear end.
You can
Even
smell
baby
skunks,
are armed and
like
dangerous.
when you can smell when skunks
If
are
you're
nearby,
sprayed,
like when you're
people over
on a
2
in a
kilometers
car.
downwind will be able to smell you, and the skunk sulfurous cocktail actually sticks to you because one chemical in the spray attaches to the proteins in hair and wool. Another ingredient reacts with the water in your sweat, so you keep stinking for days. So why do skunks have such smelly superpowers? Most predators learn the hard way.
You know what? I'm gonna say something a little bit controversial. I feel like
skunk's 2
pepper
scent glands
sprays
are powerful
or
guns,
things similar to
spreading
pepper
over
spray, they
4
should make
meters.
one that's similar to skunk spray,
If it misses
where
with
it
the
like
first
kind of
shot,
sticks to you,
can
so
fire
that
the
way
can up to
like
6
if
times before it runs
somebody,
out of
if
its
you assault
stinky
somebody,
ammunition.
right, and
No
somebody
wonder
sprays you with that,
scientists are
you're going to
taking a
have to live
closer
with that
look
for
at
days,
the
and it
skunk's
makes it
smelly
easier to
6-shooter.
find you.
At the Monell Chemical Census Center in Philadelphia, a team of researchers are really getting up people's noses in their search for the mother of all stink bombs. To sniff out the most universally despised odors in the world, brave volunteers are exposed to a range of disgusting smells. Their reactions are scientifically monitored from the safety of another chamber.
Who's using pepper spray for malicious intent? I'm saying like as a safety,
that's
like
when
as a
things
defense
really start to
mechanism,
get
not like for
stinky.
cops and shit.
Okay.
Oh. 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 Oh.
How bad was it? It was absolutely foul. As far as what it smelled like, it's
Wait.
hard to describe. It's like
Okay, yeah.
trash left out in the sun for a few days, combined with like a bathroom odor. It's like
I don't know, because
like a
like
dead
everything can
cat
be
and
used
put it in a
for
bag and
malicious
left it in
intent.
the
I'm
sun
saying for the
like a
greater
week.
good of self-defense.
It's actually a
Like, because you can
concoction
use
called
anything for malicious
stench soup.
intent. You know what I mean?
The worst smell in the world,
Like,
according
if you
to
have malicious
malodor
intent, it doesn't
researcher
matter what
Pam
you
Gardner.
have.
Stench soup was actually sort of an accident. We needed to dispose of many of our chemicals, and what we found was that when we were mixing 2 of our worst malodors, the human waste odor and the rotting flesh odor, that the disposal bottle actually smelled a lot worse than either of the 2 of them independently. Stench seems to be a pretty good way to describe it. It doesn't really smell on first breath like either the fecal matter or the rotting flesh, but both of those components come through as you start to experience it.
It's hoped that stench soup may one day provide the ultimate in non-lethal crowd control. Imagine dropping a stink bomb that will disperse rioters in empty streets. but a skunk knows how to clear the streets instinctively. That's why if you're gonna trash the skunk's reputation,
goodbye, Cappy.
it pays to stand well clear.
Have a good day. Stay safe.
Because when it comes to stinks, there can
Okay.
be no doubt that the
So-
skunk really is the most extreme.
Okay, so we made it about halfway through the head because I had to stop and redo it. But I remade it back up to where I was previously, so that's something. I think I may finish the head off stream just so that we can do more of it on stream next time. And hopefully finish it. I feel kind of like meh about just doing half of the head, but also gloves. So, and the yarn wasn't working with me because I couldn't find the center pull. So, you know, there's a lot of stopping. But I think we'll call the stream there, guys. Let's see if there's maybe somebody I can raid. Scrolling. Okay, let's see. My friend Ozzy is live. He's playing Baldur's Gate with some friend. Baldur's Gate? He's playing Baldur's Gate 3 with some friends. So, let's raid him. Why not? I haven't had a chance to raid him because he's an Australian VTuber and I'm not streaming when he's live. So, let's do that. Bernie, can you do the exclamation point raid? It's kind of hard for me to type with this on. I should have put the music back on while I was talking. That's okay. Okay. Hit the raid button and then thank you, Bernie. Yeah. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you, Bernie. What was I gonna say? When am I gonna stream next? I don't know. Probably Tuesday for Tala and Mislav Adventures. I'm gonna see if maybe I can make a schedule because I have a surprise and I want to use said surprise. Yeah, so let's see if we can make a stream schedule this week, and post it like tomorrow or Monday. And yeah, other than that, I will see y'all later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.